Nick.
Hi, Tys. How are you?
Oh, I'm good, man. It's been a big week, hasn't it?
You look very nice in your tux, Tys.
Oh, yes. And you, sir. I like your
Thank
tux / dress that you rocked. I thought you looked fantastic.
I'm the only one that can pull that off.
Yeah,
Me and
no.
that other guy.
You and that one other guy,
Yeah.
yeah. How embarrassing for you that you turned up in the exact same outfit. I know, right?
Man, come on.
How did it happen?
He stole my idea. He stole it.
Well, welcome to Tys and Videotape, everybody. It's episode number 93.
93.
It's our 2019 Oscar Extravaganza.
It's our World Series, our grand final. This is what me and Tys live for. That is it.
That is...
Once this is done, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Extreme statement.
Everyone's like, are you excited about the new election? I'm like, no, I don't.
I'm waiting for Oscars to come around again. No, it is the most wonderful time of the year, Nicholas.
It is
and
lovely.
we are going to spend tonight's episode breaking down, talking about breaking down. Just having a good old cry about things.
God,
no, we're going to be talking winners and losers and the lack of host, and presenters we liked.
Yep.
And it's funny because we're probably not going to have as much to talk about because there were no dumb fucking
there weren't any
segments
moments where you were like, oh, that was... Why did they bring out Girl Scouts and do the cookies thing again?
Exactly.
Yeah,
it moved pretty swiftly. But so you're going to hear all our thoughts of the Monday for us, Monday afternoon,
for us, but Sunday for them.
Oscars ceremony.
Yep.
But before we do any of that, Nicholas, why don't you tell the people where they can find our little show?
Well, thanks for joining in, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, you're listening to us. Thanks once again. If you are listening to us on somewhere where you can like, subscribe, share... Subscribe. That's a good one.
Please subscribe.
Rate, review, whatever.
Yeah.
Please do so. But other than that, we are on all the social medias, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. If you're a YouTube listener, because
get on that
is a
YouTube.
Thing. Do you have YouTube Red, Tys, so you can listen to it? while turning it off?
No,
not in the slightest.
Not
all.
Interested.
Okay, but other than that, we're everywhere else that you can find things. Just
things.
Google it. And you'll find us.
You will find
Tys and
us.
Videotape.
You will find us.
I love how that one went really shit. Last week it
was like well rehearsed.
I was like, oh my
smooth,
god,
like coasting little spiel.
It's because we had a host and I was on my best behaviour.
Yeah, when we get a guest host in, we're like firing. Yeah, we're like, oh, we've got to be on our eye
all
game.
Pistons firing. All Pistons.
Tonight we don't give a fuck.
I'm like, look, Google us. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Give us a googs.
That's it. Give us a googs.
Nick Tys and Videotape at gmail.com is also an email. It is Nick. NIC with no K, and Tys is TYS.
I am TYS.
Yeah.
Don't forget, you can also track us down if you're using the world's most fun social media network.
Yes.
Letterboxd. You can find us on Letterboxd if you'd like to see what we've been watching what we're rating.
And a little bit of an update also. We did post it on the Facebook, but a friend of ours had tried to like us on Letterboxd, tried to download the app, and it is unavailable in Australia for the next month. For some reason, something's going wrong with them. I contacted them via Twitter, and they said, sorry about that. We are going to come back very soon.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
So if you currently have the app already, you're fine.
App, you can follow us. But if you haven't downloaded it yet, you're going to have to wait a little bit. Yeah,
that's really.
I know, right?
Why?
I don't know.
How bizarre! I hope they don't get rid of it. I hope there's not like some weird legal reason why.
But the thing is, we
not
have
allowed in Australia.
We have it. We will keep it. They can't delete. I know. How good is it?
I love it.
I know.
All right, well, if you happen to have Letterboxd, it's very easy to find us. I am Tys_Videotape.
And I am Nick_Videotape.
And that way, you can find us, see what we've been watching. Yeah. If you're interested in maybe what we're going to be doing in the upcoming months, there might be a couple of little giveaways there because you might see us suddenly log on and rate something.
And rate something that you're like, oh, why would they watch that shit?
Exactly. Yeah. And you might start seeing some trends as well for some particular years that we might be having a little chat about later this year.
I like it. Have you made any lists yet?
No, I haven't made any dumb lists.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, I'd forgotten what I wanted to make my dumb list about.
Right.
And I was like, what did we talk about? I wanted to make a dumb list. And I just happened to be listening through some old, episodes to make sure, it didn't burn in flames at the 1 hour mark of one of our episodes. And I mentioned the list that I wanted to make.
Oh, nice.
And now I've forgotten it again.
Good conversation.
Yes, but it was good. It was a good idea for a list.
Was it the runs? It was not the running.
It wasn't the runs. It was like...
Which sounded really bad. It's people running is what Tyson is, not people having
that
squirts.
Was the fun one.
Nasty.
There was one that I actually wanted to make a list of.
Okay.
Because I only had like 2 movies to put on it, and I was hoping I'd be able to build from there. I'll have to go back and find out what that is because I want to make that list. Listeners, if you know what I'm talking about, if you have a better memory than I do because my memory is garbage.
Look, it's not his fault, okay? It's not his fault.
Yeah, what can I say? Yeah, let me know. That'd be great.
That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Write us in and then tell us.
Write us an email.
And then request us to do a film.
That's it.
You know.
While you're there, request away.
Request a film. Go, I would love to hear Nick Tice's opinions on Mean Girls.
Sure.
Yeah.
We could do an episode on Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Why the hell not?
Or Serbian film.
No. No, we won't be doing that one. No, I don't think we'll be telling
the
them
opposite
that.
ends of the spectrum. We'll do both on the same
my God.
podcast.
Yeah. What a double header.
That's horrible.
Nick, should we talk some trailers?
Let's talk trailers.
Everybody's talking
Trailers.
All right, well, we've got a bit of a theme going for talking trailers this week.
We do.
We're talking two westerns.
Two westerns.
This is pretty exciting. Well, one is it's
one is a full-out western.
One's a full-out western, the era of the western.
Yep.
One is kind of a little bit late in the game.
It is
when it comes, and it's a bit more of a.
It's kind of a.
It's kind of like a Western influenced kind of gangster.
But it's kind of the turnover. It's when cowboys had obviously died out at that point and gangsters took over.
Yeah, as well.
So yeah.
So which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's do The Kid. Let's start with the latter and go with that.
Okay.
One. Yeah.
I read about you in the paper.
Lies, mostly. Guess it don't really matter, though. I've done enough.
You're Billy the Kid. My father's beating my mother to death.
Bill, you killed my brother! Lay low with me a while.
You'll take us with you?
How long you been sheriff now?
2 weeks.
Don't I feel special?
Oh, Lord, heaven knows we belong way down below.
Billy!
When they start writing about you, it means you're already dead.
All of a sudden, I'm enemy number one.
There are families in this town hurt by this man's crimes. Weapons! All the same to you, Pat. I'm fine right here. We just want Barney.
And come and get him.
1, 2, 3, and 4. The devil's knocking at your door.
Did you think you could run from me?
No one has to die today.
Well, ain't that one of life's harsh realities?
Now hold on. One more step and it will be your last.
You really think I'm like you?
I know it is my lucky day.
Wonderful.
So we've got The Kid, which is a new retelling of the Billy the Kid legend, most famous, of course, from his Emilio Estevez's portrayal from the Young Guns films.
And Young Guns 2, which is way better. No, I'm kidding.
I went back and rewatched Young Guns.
Yeah, and
it's
a solid 2.
It's a solid 2.5.
Oh, really? I was kidding.
I was actually a little disappointed.
Oh, no.
So I'm excited to watch Young Guns 2 because I actually had that thought in my head too.
Yeah, Young
when I was
Guns.
watching it going, I think Young Guns 2 is better. So I'm excited to watch Young Guns 2 and hopefully my memories aren't completely incorrect.
And then Tyson's going to come in and go, wake up in the morning when I raise my willy hair.
I mean, if that only occurs in the end credits, I'll be disappointed. I want that song to occur some stage in the movie.
Yeah.
Because what a song.
What a song. Did he write it for that?
Yeah.
He did.
It's written specifically for that movie.
Don't you love music that is written specifically for film?
I think that's why Young Guns 2 may have an Oscar nomination.
Oh,
I'm just going to
we are going to look that up
right
while
now.
he does. I'm going to tell a little bit about The Kid, which we've got a bit of a stellar cast here.
It is a good cast.
So playing Billy the Kid is, do you say it Dane DeHaan?
Dane DeHaan.
Dane DeHaan.
I just got the word from
geez,
the
that was quick.
IMDb.
Yep, and
it is Oscar nominated, Best Original Song, Blaze of Glory.
And which one won that year?
Oh, that is actually a really good question.
Which beat Blaze of Glory? Which beat John Bon Jovi, the man himself? I bet it was something decent. It better have been.
It would have been something by Diane Warren, I almost guarantee
come on, really?
Hasn't she got like 17 of these things?
Does she?
Oh, she's all over it.
But yeah.
So yeah, we've got Dane DeHaan playing Billy the Kid. That's a good casting choice. I like that.
Famous for Chronicle and The Green Goblin and Amazing Spider-Mans. But apart from that, Ethan Hawke playing Pat Garrett. You've got how do you say? I don't know how to say his surname. Vincent, is it D'Onofrio?
D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio. And then you've got Chris Pratt playing playing sort of like a villainous role. The guy who's after, well, not really after him, but he is in conflict with the. He's the guy.
It seems like this is a bit of a anti-hero kind of style retelling of Billy the Kid, which he usually is portrayed that way anyway.
Yeah.
He's never really portrayed as like just a scumbag, which he probably was. Like if we're really,
I know.
if we're being honest,
he was probably
a real piece of shit,
massive prick.
But so yeah, it seems like in order to create an actual villain in the piece, we've got Chris Pratt as this kind of drunken, abusive family member of or family kind of patriarch of
this small family that kind of Billy the Kid takes in and goes, well, why don't you come with me?
It looks as though Billy the Kid kind of looks after his nephew, I believe. His niece. And then we have Ethan Hawke kind of on the periphery trying to track down Billy the Kid at the same time.
Yeah. I love it. I mean,
just another bit of news.
Oh yeah.
Blaze of Glory was defeated by, and I am totally okay with this choice.
Oh yep.
Sooner or Later from Dick Tracy.
Okay.
Stephen Sondheim, the man himself.
100% okay with that. John Bon Jovi, you can suck it.
I love that Stephen Sondheim has an Oscar.
Yeah. Oh please, as if he didn't.
That's a good trivia question.
I love that movie, by the way.
Dick Tracy.
It's
pretty great.
Amazing.
Yeah. Look, this looks passable. What I found interesting while watching that trailer is that. It looks as though it could be directed by anybody, but it's obvious that the cast has been assembled because it is Vincent D'Onofrio directing.
Right.
Obviously, he has relationships with these actors. You've got Ethan Hawke and Chris Pratt from Magnificent Seven.
Oh, yep.
The remake, which I'm fairly certain he was in, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Oh, I have no idea.
That's where I'm feeling like this...
I remember it being just a waste of time.
I feel like he was like...
he was in it.
He was like the big dopey drunk guy, wasn't he?
Jack Horn. I have no idea. I don't remember Magnificent Seven. It is very forgettable.
It was super forgettable.
Yeah.
But in this way, it actually seems like it was kind of they might have had a good time together, and instead of like
let's do another western.
Yeah, it was like this western isn't really working out. You know, we should go make our own one.
Let's make our own. We can make our own western.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like petulant children who haven't gotten their way. It's like we could do this better.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like maybe they've just maybe they just hung around on the set and went, can we keep this for another 2 weeks? We're going to do our own thing here. But yeah, it looks fine. It's this, It's a theme that they attach a lot to old westerns, and the idea of, which is the last line in the trailer, that idea of it doesn't matter what you did, it's about the story that they tell about you when you're dead.
Yep.
And I think that idea of legacy and legend is kind of seeped pretty strongly in a lot of old westerns, and especially in like the revisionist westerns, like stuff like Unforgiven is pretty much wholly, concerned with legacy and legend, and how that can be misinterpreted and stuff, and how maybe the legends we tell of the West really weren't that legendary and that kind of stuff. So, I like it's
there were
nice...
no cowboys at all. Billy the Kid was he was a garbage man.
Yeah.
So
that's I'm interested in that as an idea because that's kind of. Because you get both sides of that with the Western genre. You get the old classic Westerns where it is entirely about building the legend, and then you get these newer kind of more reflective Westerns which are about kind of tearing it down. So they're obviously, I feel like whoever wrote this, which is probably worth checking who wrote the screenplay for this.
I didn't recognise his name.
No.
Then again, I could be wrong. Andrew Lanham.
Andrew Lanham.
He's done 6 things. The other was The Glass Castle and The Shack from 2017.
Oh, The Shack is like a weird religious movie, I thought.
Okay.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
It looks hella religious.
A grieving man receives a mysterious personal invitation to meet with God at a place called The Shack.
That sounds god-awful.
Yeah. Has a 32 Metascore, so it's quality.
32? That's massive.
Yeah, so maybe it's something that this writer is concerned with too, which means that I think that comes with the territory when it comes with the Western. So if someone wants to tackle those kind of themes, they probably do have quite a deep appreciation for the Western genre. Having said that, it kind of looks...
It looks pretty good. It looks okay. It's got some Western... I'm a sucker for Western action. That's
man.
It's very specific.
I love an old Western gunfight. There is something
man.
just, if it's filmed well and it's like, if it's really exciting and well shot.
Because you can't do too much even in cinema now, and I think that's what Magnificent Seven was trying for. You can't do a lot of CG in Western action. Unless you're looking at, what was the...
Wild Wild West.
No. Aliens and Cowboys.
Oh, Cowboys versus Aliens.
Aliens.
Yeah, that's a big mess, that
was
movie.
Horrible. But yeah, so I'd like that gritty, someone gets shot and it doesn't affect them. They keep going. Like, they're like, no, it's fine. It's fine. Keep going. And they're just bleeding all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan. Although, as much as I do, it does look good. I am all for it. Adam Baldwin is in this, Tyson.
Adam Baldwin.
Yeah. Everyone loves Adam. He's the best Baldwin, isn't he? Is he the best one?
No, Adam Baldwin's he's not even one of the true Baldwins. He's like a cousin.
He's like a cousin Baldwin.
Yeah, and he might not be a really nice dude, I've heard.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so wasn't he... I better double check, actually, to make sure I'm talking about the right one.
Right.
But I feel like he was heavily involved in that...
Yes.
What was it? It was... Yeah, it is him. Like something like... Is it called like Gamergate or something?
Oh, shit. Really?
Yeah. I feel like he was one of the people that had some very questionable views and was quite happy to voice them as kind of retrograde as they were.
Okay. We're not going to go into Gamergate on this podcast.
No,
If you want to know more about it, just Google it.
The Wikipedia page is no doubt ripe
horrible.
with infuriating information.
Yeah.
So yeah, Adam Baldwin can probably go fuck himself.
All right, fair
I would
deal.
say. But yeah, so...
I do like the fact that Chris Pratt in this is playing something that he hasn't really done before. We haven't seen Chris Pratt in kind of...
have we seen him be an arsehole in a movie?
Arsehole? No.
Well, not that I can think of at the top of my head.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd be interested to see him as a villain.
Looks good. The beard looks questionable.
Yeah, it does.
It looks like it's stuck on.
It does look a little bit like it's stuck on.
But yeah.
I don't. Yeah, it's an interesting casting choice, and look, good luck to him. I'm not getting much from the trailer other than the fact that he's playing the bad guy.
Yeah. Looks good in what he's doing though. I'll give it that.
I like where Ethan Hawke is at the moment. I like where he's all about at the moment. He's doing some interesting stuff. He's trying new genres, but he's always interesting. No matter what you see him in, apparently he did his own kind of weird Taken knockoff
last
year or something.
Taken?
Yeah, he did
really?
One of those kind of old man kicking ass. Oh, more like a John Wicky kind of thing, actually. Yeah. Wiki.
Nice, Wiki.
And apparently that was garbage, but I would almost watch Ethan Hawke in anything, I reckon.
Yeah.
So
he was the best bit of Boyhood for me. He really was.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll give this a watch.
Yeah, bring it on. The Kid, as if you're not in Tyson, it's a Western, man.
Well, speaking of, should we talk about... Sorry, any chance of...
Any chance you're going to watch a Western?
Well, if one pops up, I'm pretty much certain to watch it.
Yeah.
Having said that, there is one that I'm much more excited about, and that's our second film we're going to talk about tonight on Talkin Trailers, which is...
The Highwayman.
How many bullets you got in you?
16, I think.
Might be good to have a doctor look at you sometime.
Might be good to have a doctor look at you sometime.
I ain't got no bullets in me.
Because I was covering you.
You may have heard there was a prison break. It was Bonnie and Clyde. Governor, this has to end. They've committed dozens of armed robberies and several cold-blooded murders.
What do you plan to do about Bonnie and Clyde?
We will capture them. Write that down and underline it twice.
There's only one man who can take them down.
I'll come back.
Hey, you got room for one more?
Not even packed. Judas Priest, get in.
This is 1934. Gangsters, submachine guns. And you put cowboys on Bonnie and Clyde?
Texas Rangers.
This is an emergency alert. Police are not yet releasing details, but have stated that Bonnie and Clyde may have struck again.
Forgive me, Father, for I have seen.
This is a highly coordinated operation.
So much pain and suffering.
Roadblocks, air surveillance.
Your time's past, cowboy.
What the hell is the world coming to? Used to be you had to have talent to get published. Now all you got to do is shoot people.
See the devil dressed in white.
She used her foot to turn him over so he could see what was about to happen.
Hi, sweetie.
This has gone far enough. I'm going to take them down.
What a fine idea.
So, Nicholas.
Tyson.
There's a couple of reasons why this has jumped really high onto my I'm going to watch this immediately as soon as I can list.
Yes.
It's because premiering on Netflix. Well, it's not premiering on Netflix. I tell a lie. It's doing a short theatrical run and then straight to Netflix about 2 weeks later.
Absolutely.
Which is great. And by the way, I wholeheartedly support this version of Netflix release. If they go put it in a cinema for a little bit, if it was showing in Melbourne, I probably would try and catch it at a cinema.
Sure. Yeah.
But
probably
show it for a couple of weeks and then release it onto Netflix.
That's true.
I think give the audience the opportunity to see it in a cinema, and if they choose not to, or if they have any reason why they can't, they know that they can watch it on Netflix not too long after that. I like that idea.
I like that. Yeah. That's really, really good.
So that's reason number one.
Number two.
Reason number two, Woody Harrelson. Love Woody Harrelson.
Always good.
Always solid.
Never really shit.
No, and just always a welcome addition to any film.
Yeah. He can. But one thing I do love about Woody Harrelson is that he can do comedy very well. We saw that in things like Zombieland and even White Man Can't Jump. Kingpin. But
White
also
Man Can't Jump.
he can.
I love White Man Can't Jump.
White Man Can't Jump as well. Bring back that Wesley, man. Anyway,
no, Wes.
The other thing he can do is very, very serious, which you can see in things like True Detective season 1. So he's even his little bit part in No Country always surprises me when he rocks up. You're like, oh fuck yeah,
that is a great
That's
scene.
Right.
It's a wonderful scene.
Good. So good.
And of course, third and final, most important reason is my man himself, K-Cost.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
The love affair just keeps.
It does keep on going. I don't know how it's happened.
Yeah.
Like,
this has just sparked more of the flame.
I see Kevin Costner advertising something now, and I'm chomping. I'm like,
really?
Oh, I can't wait.
That's hilarious.
And I'm loving his era now, what he's choosing to do, because I reckon in not a very long time we're going to start seeing Kevin Costner doing like the Jeff Bridges stuff.
Section. Yeah,
real,
that's what I thought as well.
Grizzled, world-weary old man.
Yeah, who can just literally knock your fucking face off with one punch.
Yes.
Like, he's that
good
grizzled...
Old-fashioned knock your block off kind
just
of
really just knock
grizzled old dude.
Yeah, I love it.
Which I'm like, he's not quite there yet. He's probably he's as old as Jeff Bridges, to be honest. But...
But that's the thing, like he's almost there, and what he's doing in this, I love that. Like they're billing him as like he's the only man for the job. Yes. I got the guy that can get rid of.
That's it.
And what this movie is about, ladies and gentlemen, is government or whoever
it'll be the state governor.
The state governor hires
or the state district
Texas Rangers who are K-Cost and Woody Harrelson, to go after Bonnie and Clyde, because Bonnie and Clyde, who we don't know, you don't see them, which is good. It's not a Bonnie and Clyde story. It's about these two Texas Rangers who get up the gumption and go after them.
They do get up the gumption.
Do you like that? And I love it. He's just built as like that. He gets all the guns in his car. He takes on Woody Harrelson. And he goes, yeah, I'm the only guy for the job.
Yeah.
It's always that slow, whatever.
Yeah.
Way of talking. It just looks awesome.
It does look really good. Directed by John Lee Hancock.
John Lee Hancock, that's true.
Who, I'll be honest, if you're going to plug him as a director,
sure.
I don't think Blindside is the one to pick.
You did get a out of Tyson when that came up on screen.
Like I know maybe to the wider public, that might be.
Well, that was the Oscar, man. That was the one that was.
He was obviously
Oscar,
it was won Sandra Bullock an Oscar, and it was nominated for Best Picture, but it's pretty widely renowned as not a great movie.
Yeah, I never wanted to see it just on the premise alone. I don't want to see something like that.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's not really offensive. It's a bit. It's a bit questionable, but they kind of skirt the edges of it, and it doesn't come across as
black man.
It doesn't. Yeah, I mean that's it. It just kind of doesn't come across as offensive as it could. I think.
Yeah.
Having said that, it's obviously a pretty questionable topic, but then it's a true story. So I mean, like, what are we doing? I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Can of worms.
Exactly.
But. Well, it's funny because it's kind of a family-orientated film.
Yeah, I know.
Why, he also directed Saving Mr. Banks, which I think is a wildly better movie.
I love that movie. It was really good.
I quite enjoyed it.
Cried in that film.
Yeah, I had tears.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, I think it has
sure
its
he's done
problems,
better.
but
Yeah.
it's a much better film. It's just weird the movies that they pick to be the representation. I would have even put the Alamo up. I know it's a huge flop. Don't get me wrong, it was a massive flop, and I think that was produced by Disney, and they were not happy about that.
Man, they are hit and miss sometimes.
But that's more in line with what I don't know. Anyway.
Have you seen The Rookie? You're a massive sports fan. Was The Rookie good?
No, I haven't seen The Rookie.
You haven't seen The Rookie?
No.
Tyson, you love movies like that.
Yeah,
man.
I know. It's always popped up in the lists when I'm like, because I love those Disney-produced sports movies, man.
Yeah.
Like Invincible, Glory Road, all that stuff.
Coach
like
Carter, man.
I don't know if that's a Disney-produced one, but I do love Coach Carter.
Yeah.
Miracle. Like I love that. I loved that little patch where Disney was like, "Oh, we were just releasing a sports movie a year."
Yeah.
And then I shit you not, they're all fine.
Yeah,
to
they're
good.
all just feel good.
Like, you could pick shit on them if you like, but they are super digestible 2-hour good time movies.
Yeah.
And I challenge anybody to not take some enjoyment out of them.
Sure.
Like, Disney do that so well with those films.
Yeah.
They've kind of dried up a little bit, which I'm a bit sad about.
It's okay. They got other things in the fryer.
I think $1 Million Arm maybe killed it for him.
Well, with a title like that, how do you...
I know.
As if it's not making bank. Come on.
I know.
And the Academy Award goes to $1 Million Arm.
Starring John Hamm. But yeah, so this is my man K-Kos doing his thing.
That's true.
I'm very excited. It's I was a huge fan of what am I thinking of? Justified, which dealt with the U.S. Marshals Department.
Yeah.
And
that
so
was a
there's
really good show.
Yeah, it is a great show, and so I got really invested in like Southern law enforcement kind of shows.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
And so
Did you go back and watch Walker, Texas Ranger?
No, I don't
you
require
didn't.
that.
Okay.
That'll
Well,
be fine. I
that's
did
a
watch
shame.
Texas Rangers with James Van Der Beek.
Oh, fucking hell.
That movie's bad. I used to like that movie. That movie's bad.
We have brought this up before, Tyson, and you have gone to bat for it every single time. I think I've brought it up twice. Are you telling me that you don't like it anymore?
I used to love it, yeah. It's real bad. Like, I'll watch the hell out of it. Don't get me wrong. I will watch the hell out of it.
Oh, James Van Der Dawson doing Cowboys.
It's such a great cast.
Is it Usher
such a great
as well?
Cast. Yeah, Usher. Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, I'm in. I'm going to watch it.
Far
else is in
out.
it?
She's all that.
Rachel Lee Cook.
Thank you.
Rachel Lee Cook. Where is she gone? I want her back.
Yeah, she's due for a comeback, isn't she?
Look her up.
She was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm really excited about this. I like the Bonnie and Clyde is funny. It hasn't really been. It's not like one of those stories that's had 40,000 movies about it. It's kind of had it's had the classic Warren Beatty,
Faye Dunaway
one from the early 60s,
I have no idea.
late 60s. I'm a bit something like that. Which is kind of notorious for kickstarting a bit of a new wave of filmmaking. It was kind of one of
67.
67, yeah. So it was a real kind of like signpost for what the 70s were going to bring in terms of filmmaking style and what movies were going to be about. They were really, like you saw, obviously the 70s became very focused on storytelling despite the outcome. We were going to show you the real nuts and bolts of character, and it wasn't going to be just about happy kind of clean storytelling. Storytelling would be dirty.
We were moving away from it was the year of Taxi Driver and things like that. So
that's it. There's a real, you can draw a real parallel, like a line from Bonnie and Clyde to those kind of movies.
Exactly.
But so maybe it's like people don't want to maybe touch that topic because the movie it's so.
The only the one that I can think of that's close to that is Natural Born Killers, but I haven't seen that in a while. Does that have some? Because they're not Bonnie and Clyde, but they are.
Oh, it's essentially a Bonnie and Clyde story. Yeah, they took a lot of elements from Bonnie and Clyde.
Right.
The kind of folk. The folk kind of
rallying behind,
I guess rallying behind them in it to a degree. They kind of took that, and then Stone turned it into his own kind of commentary on media and the fascination with things that we probably shouldn't be fascinated with as consumers of media.
Yeah.
So yeah, I find it interesting that we're getting. It's been a really long time. I don't think we've had any kind of big box office Bonnie and Clyde movies.
No, but I do like that this is not focused on that though. This is you're getting just them.
That's it. We're getting it from the story of the people that actually were responsible for bringing them down. I guess.
And you're seeing like it's not like a. I'm going to bring it back to Magnificent Seven because it's not that. Magnificent Seven was very clean. I felt that it was a little too clean to be a Western.
Sure.
I like my Westerns dirty. I like the fact that no one was clean. Everyone washed maybe once a month.
Yeah.
Things like that. If you had the money to.
Yeah, it was a tough time to live.
Yeah. Oh, there's a river. Let's go swim.
Yeah.
But this is like you're getting kind of Bonnie and Clyde have been and gone, and you're getting their. Well, that's what I got a sense of it, that you're getting their crime scenes and just a lot of bodies, the amount of bodies that they're leaving behind, and these guys are kind of cleaning up that mess and going, okay, we need to do something.
Yeah, for sure.
And then it's just turning into just because you're getting, the 6-shooters, but you're also getting the Tommy guns, which were around at that time as well. So you're just going to get a mix of action sequences that are going to be boss.
Yeah, well, it seems like it's something I've never really considered, the phasing out of the old lawmakers and the phasing in of gangster culture and the law enforcement that was required to handle that. And it seems like it could be a really cool way to kind of explore that idea of the old relics, like. At what point were these guys no longer necessary? These Texas Rangers, who obviously mean something very different now. A Texas Ranger is just essentially a highway policeman, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas, obviously in the late 19th century, they were the law. They were, the law. Yeah. Yeah, it could be really interesting.
It looks good. It looks really good.
Yeah.
I am going to seek the shit out of this.
Well, I'm going to, I can't wait to watch it comfortably from my own home.
How good is that?
It's going to be great on a nice...
Netflix, man. How good is that? For the win.
But, cook up some popcorn, maybe order some Uber Eats, have a few drinks, and watch my man K-Cost take down some gangsters. Who could ask for anything more?
And then it turns out to be like 10... He watches 15 minutes of it. It turns out to be shit, and he pops on Prince of Thieves. Oh, fuck it.
Yeah, maybe I'll double header it just so I can get some old Costner and some new Costner. Like just all in a blender.
All right.
Well, I think it's time, Nick, that we move on to our feature presentation.
Feature presentation.
Yeah.
And now for our feature presentation.
How are we doing this? It's just a run from top to bottom?
Well, I don't know. I've been trying to think, how did we do it last time? I think we just kind of shot the shit until we were done with it. So.
Yeah, sure, okay. Well, I've done the running order.
Oh, wonderful.
If you want to.
Yeah,
but things like editing, production design...
I mean, we can mention it because I think a lot of it kind of dictated the narrative of the night when some of these earlier awards. But why don't we just talk about our overall impressions of the evening, Nick? Did you enjoy the show on the whole?
Oh, you're recording.
Yeah. Why the fuck not?
I thought we were just talking.
Dude,
that is
we're
hilarious.
Recording a podcast.
We
you do
are
know
live
this, don't you?
here at Los Angeles.
We've been doing this for 93 episodes. It hasn't just been me.
I know that, but I thought we were just
inconspicuously
chatting.
recording you talking about movies. Dude, we got a whole thing going. We're like on the internet and
really?
stuff.
Oh, really?
It's wild.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right, well, let's just talk as a whole.
Yeah. What were your impressions of the evening, Nicholas?
Look, I liked it. It was nice.
Me too, man.
I was a little skeptical at no host because I was very excited for Kevin Hart. I'm a big Kevin Hart fan. But yeah, it was great. Like, it was jumping straight in, starting off with Queen and Adam Lambert. Which
pretty big opening, yeah,
massive opening. I like that it started with a musical number. I thought that was a great. Like, they've done it before, but I was expecting kind of, oh no, we're going to set the tone with a montage of films.
Sure, and I mean, we're so accustomed to the clip packages and all that kind of stuff. Was it last year that JT opened the show with?
He did
with that Minion song or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't mind that song, but yeah, it was not too bad.
Look, it was. They performed the shit out of it. Like, don't get me wrong. And Adam Lambert is a pretty I did make the gag. Welcome to your the only time you're ever going to be at the Oscars, Adam Lambert. But he is he's a very entertaining performer.
He is.
It's so funny the people that they chose to show them boogieing out. I was like, oh look, Alison Janney's having a boogie. Good on her. And Javier Bardem was losing his mind.
He was loving it, wasn't he?
He was loving it sick.
It was so funny. I just can't get behind, this isn't my own personal thing, apart from watching it, which I'm a massive fan of Queen, I just can't watch Adam Lambert be in the role of Freddie Mercury.
And it's not the same at all.
Yeah.
It's a glorified cover band really situation.
Yeah.
They're very good. It's very good. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the same.
It's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great start, and I do love that that segued into the three amazing
Maya Rudolph, Tina Fey,
of comedy.
Amy Poehler. Very funny opening. They were so good, the three of them.
They're always good.
And it was the perfect icebreaker because it was like, oh, what are they going to do? We don't have a host.
Yep.
So they make sure that the first award that they present, the three presenters or however many they want, they know they can hold a room, and they just say, you know what? Before you present, just give us 2 minutes of your best material that you can have.
And that's
gold. And you know what? It was actually really funny stuff too. They were really on fire.
Maya Rudolph's Lady Gaga.
Oh, so good. I love Maya Rudolph.
She's so good.
I'm such a big fan of
hers.
She's gold. And I mean, who doesn't love Tina Fey and Amy Poehler? But it's so. I love that Maya Rudolph, who was probably the least successful of the three, still gets to be part of all that because I consider her just an absolute genius.
Great. She's great. I love her.
And they were great. They were so fun. It was really fun, and it set the tone for I think what was actually a pretty enjoyable evening.
Yeah,
the mood stayed pretty light.
Yeah, it moved along quite fast. It moved along.
It was really pacey.
Yeah,
we didn't get bogged down with too much. Look, make a stand, do whatever you got to like.
Sure.
And I'm on your side, people. I am on your side. But having said that, it was actually kind of refreshing to see a night where it was almost like, who can be fucked anymore? Everyone knows the situation now.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to make this big grand stand anymore because everyone is just like, yeah, we know it's a fucking shitstorm. So let's enjoy what we can enjoy. What are we here for? We're here to have a good time. We're here to celebrate ourselves. You know what? True. The people that badmouth and bitch about Hollywood elite, they're not watching anyway. So
who gives a shit?
You're not going to change anyone's mind by going on a big rant about the wall at the Oscars.
Exactly.
Because the people that...
Everyone is there and everyone who is listening agrees
That
with
is the definition of an echo chamber by doing it at the Oscars.
Exactly.
So let's just... have a good time. Let's just have a good time. Acknowledge it, of course. But it was really nice that it wasn't bogged down in that kind of isn't the state of the world just a disgrace?
No, I don't know.
It was almost like a pushback against it and saying, no, we have to appreciate and enjoy these things now.
And looking forward to the future. It was mentioned that, no, that's fine. We have a re-election and that's what they're there for.
Exactly. And Spike Lee made a good point. And all he had to say was, hey, 2020 is just around the corner.
Yeah. Can't wait to see you all there.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's all it needs to be said. And there was a good good joke about the wall in the beginning. And I think
Maya Rudolph. She was so good.
And that's all that needed to be done.
Yeah.
And it's great because don't give them ammunition because
you don't
give them shit to bitch and moan about. Don't give it to them because they're begging for it.
But they'll bitch and moan about anything. That's the thing. Even now that was a successful Oscars, a successful Academy Awards, the show went great. It was quick. It was fast. They'll still find something to bitch about.
Yes.
Whatever that may be.
Anyway. But that's it. But let's give them as little ammunition as possible.
Exactly. So that merged into we're getting our first award, which is actress in a supporting role.
Was it actress first?
It was actress first, yep.
Of course it was. And it was...
Regina King. Yeah. Who I've loved her since Boys in the Hood. When she won, Sam she's like, who is that? I don't know who that is. I'm like, how do you not know Regina? What? Come on. And I just rambled off all of these. And she's like, oh, I do know who that is.
Yeah, she's actually had a pretty remarkable career, to be honest.
Yeah.
Considering I feel bad saying the kind of stuff she started out in, but
no, you got to make it somewhere, man. Not everyone's, you can't unless you're what is his name? Who played Legolas?
Oh, Jesus. Orlando Bloom.
Unless you're Orlando Bloom and cementing that as your first fucking film. I was in Lord of the Rings for my first film.
Yeah. But, it's my good friend Bebo, who I watch the Oscars with every year.
Hey, Bebs.
Hey, Bebs, what's happening? His whole thing was, it's the Oscar she should have won for Jerry Maguire. And I was like, oh, my God, she was. She's Rod's wife in Jerry Maguire, and she's amazing. And that's it. Like,
but it's not like that. She plays like little bit parts like that. She's memorable. You're just like, oh.
Yeah, she's just a wonderful character actress that has been around forever, plugging away in these small roles, who is getting the recognition she deserves, and that's awesome. I really dig that.
Yeah. She was massive in. I love it in Ray, because Ray was one of my favorite movies, and she played the lover in that and one of his singers, and she just brings so much. Colour is a wrong word to use.
It probably is the wrong word to use at that point. Energy?
No, it's like dramatic heat almost.
Okay, sure. Yeah. For sure.
She brings it. She really does. So
absolutely.
Always gold.
No, good on her.
Yeah.
What else?
So next one after that was makeup and hair.
Cool.
So you got a couple. You got makeup and hair. You got doco feature, and then costume design, and they were kind of all rolled into the one thing.
Yeah, cool. So we had makeup and hair, which I think was the only award that Vice won for the night.
That's true.
So I suppose we might as well use this opportunity to talk about Vice. Nick, what did you think of Vice?
Oh, okay, awesome. Tyson, I was really looking forward to Vice, man.
Yeah,
it was my, before I'd even watched anything, it was my pick. Watching the trailers, I was like, I hope this wins. I really do, because this looks great.
I'd say that trailer was pretty impressive, yeah.
Yeah. Christian Bale always giving his all, putting everything into it, gaining a shitload of weight. Like, for this, like,
it's just his fucking bag now, isn't it? Like, he's just like, oh, do I get to eat some cheeseburgers?
Yeah, seriously. Dude, you don't have to. We've got to. Okay, sure. Yeah, we're not going to argue with you,
it's
man.
Like, actually, man, we need you to be pretty buff for this. Yeah, I'll get there. It's all right.
You realise you're doing another Batman. I said, yeah, don't worry about it. So I was really looking forward to this. So I think I was a little disappointed in what it was. Look, it was a good film, Tys.
Yeah.
But it's not something that I'm going to go back to, or I'm not going to buy it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I felt that it kind of gave us. Pardon me. There was no clear. Which I'm going to come back to, because there's one other thing that I described. It's like there's no clear beginning, middle, and end. It's kind of an amalgamation of, I'm going to give you some facts here, and this is kind of what happened. And you're not getting, not that you need a payoff, but you're not getting something. There's something missing almost.
Yeah, well, I mean, I tend to agree with what you're saying. I feel like it was by the time you got to the pretty unnecessarily long run time.
Yeah.
You kind of didn't feel like you knew the scope of what the movie was trying to say.
Yeah.
And so
you weren't satisfied.
Yeah, when you get to an end of a movie
like
and go, okay, cool. So it was pretty, it had some interesting direction. Like Adam McKay does interesting stuff. I think this the stuff he did worked a lot better in Big Short than it does in this, I think.
Yeah.
That real kind of like
chop and change.
Really choppy, intercut with stuff.
Yep.
It's almost like kind of it's party energy to things that maybe you wouldn't expect them to have that. Like it's a real kind of, it's really unpredictable.
He would have to do that for Big Short because of the topic.
I think it worked really well
boring.
because they kind of they worked hand in hand with each other because you're right. Talking about that stuff can be so dry and uninteresting.
Yeah.
Injecting that energy, suddenly you are really drawn to it.
Yeah.
In this, like the stuff like the little when they were talking about the cabinet and they had like the little cutouts of the people and they push them aside and stuff like that.
It was
good. Fine, but it just felt really messy and just it didn't have the focus. And then there's other bits like the whole fishing metaphor, which I was just like not on board for. I was like,
you were like, come on, man.
Like I just can't. I can't deal with it anymore because it is like it is so obvious. Like the whole idea of the taking the bait and stuff like that, and it was just kind of like, ugh. Like, it's a cliched metaphor as it is, because we say, taking the bait is so popular a metaphor to say.
And do it once, sure, but the fact that they did it so many times.
But, I think the metaphor worked in itself, saying that, we could have put two and two together. He liked to fish. We could have had shots of him fishing because that explains that he's meticulous and patient and quiet. And that was kind of what the whole movie was trying to build, is that this guy who's, for 8 years, was the most powerful man in the world, and most people didn't know who he was. Yeah. And so partnering that with the fishing is actually pretty clever until we keep getting these intercuts of him reeling in George W. And I'm like, oh, come on, this is killing me. Like, you're killing me.
Yeah. Like, make it more subtle, man. Don't make
subtlety
him go
was
fishing. I'm going fishing. Don't even say it. Just don't have those shots of.
It wasn't. Adam McKay is not. He's not. His goal is not subtlety in these movies at all, and I understand that. So, but it just made it feel unfocused, and it gave it no clear, like kind of statement. Like, what is the statement that we take away from this at the end?
Sure.
because I didn't feel really anything at the end of it. I just kind of went, there were some good performances in that. I wasn't bored.
No,
I can tell you that. I wasn't bored.
Yeah.
But I think I was frustrated as equally as I was impressed with certain things.
Right.
I think Amy Adams is pretty spectacular in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think... What else? Christian Bale is doing some pretty great stuff, for sure.
George W.
Look, it was fine. I like Sam Rockwell, but to me, I don't think he made enough of an impression with that character.
Yeah.
He was really in 2 scenes.
So true.
It was a good impersonation, but it was kind of like, but what are you really adding to this story? Like, you're not. No,
you're not. You're almost like a prop, man, to show off Dick Cheney.
We don't learn anything about George W. based on that performance either. Like,
Nothing we already didn't know.
It's just a face and a voice, really. But so I'm with you. It was like a solid 3-star kind of movie.
Yeah.
Where I came away at the end and just went, okay, sure.
It was all right.
But and
totally
so
true.
it's only award of the night, makeup and hairstyling,
which you totally deserved.
I think. Yeah. Look, I think the aging,
exactly the same.
the aging stuff was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It's disappointing though, because when you see something like the clips from Mary Queen of Scots, and you're like, okay, I get it. Yes, you aged these people very effectively.
Sure.
But holy shit, that looks spectacular.
Yeah, that's really amazing.
You could hang shots of Margot Robbie in that movie on your wall. Like, she looked absolutely stunning, and just the detail and the intricacy of what they did with her.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you going to say?
There's 2 that I'm kind of on the same boat as that, like Vice, and I think it's another one later on. I think it's shit. Which one is it? Oh, visual effects. That I feel that they went for, what looks the most realistic, rather than, do you know what I mean? Rather than, no, that looks amazing. Like, that looks so superb that it's something that you would hang on your wall.
Sure.
You know, things like that.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get there when we get there, because that was a bit disappointing for me. But what else have we got, Nick?
So the next one was documentary feature.
Cool. So that was Free Solo.
Free Solo.
I haven't actually seen it.
No.
I'm interested in it, I guess.
There was nothing that really grabbed me in that. Normally the docos section, I'm kind of like, I can't wait to watch that. There was nothing this year.
And I was still, I hadn't seen a great deal of them, but I was upset that 3 Identical Strangers didn't end up making the cut.
I know, that was massive.
Because,
a lot of people had raw with that.
I don't watch a huge amount of documentaries, but that was really something special.
Yeah.
Like, I found that just utterly fascinating. So, look, there's every possibility that Free Solo is a much better documentary, for all I know. But
who knows?
Yeah, it was a bit surprising to me that didn't have an appearance.
Even a nomination. Come on.
Yeah.
The next one was costume design.
Cool. And now we get our first of 3 for the night.
I think it was 3 or 4. I think it was 3.
Yeah.
Black
Panther.
Yeah.
So
Wakanda forever.
Yeah. Look, and I did see that kind of coming. Yeah, as you know, I do. I do like to kind of do a lot of Oscar predictions and wagering and stuff like that. Although this is one of my weaknesses when it comes to the Oscars. I do like to have a little bit of a wager.
Yeah.
And the Black Panther stuff was one that I just had a real suspicion about, because I know that production design, a lot of people were kind of leaning towards some other stuff like The Favourite and possibly even Roma, depending if Roma was going to have one of those nights where production design was going to be, I think, the first indication of that, because nobody really thought she was going to win Supporting Actress, but for production design, there was like this possibility, because a lot of that, it was a lot of that was beautiful design work to make it resemble 1970s Mexico. But I always just had in the back of my head, I'm like, this is where the start of some Black Pantherness, because that the production design creating that
so good.
It is, as far as a creation of a world, while I'm not super hot on the movie on the whole, it is remarkable what they did. Like, the costume and the production design in hand in that film.
Marrying together not only traditional African garb, but also the futuristic side of it.
Yeah.
So moulding those together would be a fucking hard job.
Yes, exactly. Which has now got this term of Afrofuturism, which is great. And
bring more of it on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because it was really like something else to look at. So I always kind of suspected, I was like, people saying, no, The Favourite's got this in the bag. I'm like, they love a period piece. I'm like, no, hang on a second. Because it was always going to win something. Like, Black Panther was always going to win something.
Absolutely.
I actually found it quite surprising that it did win score.
Okay.
Because
really?
I couldn't tell you a thing about that score now.
Really? Are you kidding me?
Don't remember a single note of it.
Wow, I listened to that score on repeat on the way to work sometimes.
All
it is
right.
that memorable.
Okay, cool. I might have to have another listen.
Yeah. Okay, so next one down the list, which is the first for Bohemian Rhapsody, is editing.
The first? Was that its first for the night?
That was his first for the night.
Wow.
Editing, which in this, it was the one that I kind of disagreed with. I was like, really? Did you see Vice? Like that was I because of McKay's chops and how that can really make a film. I really thought that Vice would have got this one.
I know what you're saying, and
but maybe
I think
maybe I'm
the thing about
talking
Vice,
about his style.
Yeah. What I think is interesting about a movie like that is I think Vice is most edited. Like, if you wanted to pick the movie that the editing is the most, it is Vice, yeah? Whether or not it's effectively edited, I think is maybe the other question.
Sure.
Having said that, Bohemian Rhapsody is not effectively edited in any way.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah. So let's have a little chat about Bohemian because I finally watched it.
Hey, I didn't put on your...
Yes,
did you?
Yeah, of course I did.
Oh, I didn't see it on your letterbox.
Yeah. I totally watched it, man.
Oh, how'd it go?
It was the last one to watch. And coming off the back of what my friend Tyson said, and me being a big, it was last year. It was the one that I was most looking forward to. Which is hilarious now that I can, in retrospect, look at it, that they literally set it up to win Oscars. They put it in December. No, this thing's going to take home some gold.
It was Beatty as Beatty gets.
Absolutely. Look, it was fine.
Sure.
And I say that very on the line.
Okay, sure.
It was a little too, which I know...
Shit.
They were,
No, go on. Sorry. I'll give you your...
I love that.
You
no,
have the floor.
Thank you. That was gold. No, it was a little too for the kids at home. It was a family Queen.
It's the biggest dumbed down version of those stories.
It was such and it's spot on. Like I literally, after I watched it, I'm like, what episode of Nick Tice did Tice talk about? And I listened back, and I agreed. I agreed with most of the things that you said.
Sure.
Like it was just a ticking of the boxes. Your basic biopic of a band, and these are the things. Like a lot of people said that this Bohemian Rhapsody is basically Walk Hard without the fucking comedy,
without the awareness.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like they need to. It was just, and I feel that, especially with what this movie went through, like knowing that this movie to get where it. To finally come out, it went through a lot of actors playing Freddie. It's gone through 3 directors.
Yep.
If you read onto it, like there were days where he wasn't even there, that the cinematographer took over directing.
Sure.
When they finally got Fletcher and things like that, they were like, well, you've got 2 weeks. What do you want to do?
Christ.
Like it was just a balls up. Like there was no way. And the fact that this made the Best Picture nomination of that year shows you what 2018 unfortunately brought us.
Well, I feel like this is what I think maybe the editing award has led to, is that while, you can say Vice had the most editing, this is the movie that has somehow... It's almost remarkable that it was able to become a movie, considering what a shitstorm it was. So the editor obviously had their work cut out for them because they've got just nothing really to work with. Like they've got all this garbage, different directors. It's just a whole mess of... And somehow they made... a film. I was going to say a coherent film, but that might be too kind.
A little loose.
They managed to make a movie, as rough around the edges as it was. And so I think that's a lot of where that editing award came from, is because they know that someone had to salvage this, and in a lot of cases that is the editor.
Yeah. But as far as like, if you're going to talk about dramatic music, Queen comes to mind. Like it is so eclectic in its different things, and they kind of say that, but they don't use their music to any. Like I wanted to really like feel something where there was no heart in this at all. Like it didn't.
That's a good point.
I didn't give a shit.
When you have music that is so
how do you not
bombastic?
Use that? You know,
yeah.
Like I go back to one of my favorite biopics, which is Ray. Like when Ray sat down and he didn't really have anything, and he was really like. I play covers. You know, I play covers. And I think it was his manager or someone who was producing at the time said, "Hey, look, I've got a song. Play this." And he plays a little start, and the way that they shot it and the way that it came about was, I don't even care if that's how the song was mess around. So they started off, he played a little piano and things like that, and it worked its way up into something that was amazing. And watching something on the similar vein, which was We Will Rock You, I was like, come on, guys. Seriously, that was just boring. That was boring.
Yeah, I mean, most of the creations of the songs themselves it was ridiculous, because it was like, I've had to fight with you, and now I'm going to go sit on a piano, and the song is like ready to go.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, oh, I'm so mad.
The bass
I'm just
player
going to see. That one was the worst.
How they're fighting and like, that's a good rip.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, oh, fuck off.
Hey, we're fine, guys, because that's a cool riff.
Let's play this thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
And that stuff frustrates me to no end.
Yeah.
And look, whether whatever enjoyment you choose to take out of it, that's your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Because I know obviously people love this movie. People love this fucking movie.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do they?
Like, people really like this movie. I don't understand that, and that's fine. It's not up to me to dictate everybody's fucking viewing pleasures.
Yeah.
It just didn't work for me on any level.
It was very passable.
Yeah.
It was very.
What's interesting is this John Ottman, who is the editor that won, is he's been around the trust for ages. He's been Singer's editor for a very long time.
Right.
Which I find a little interesting. He's also, for us Superman Returns fans, even though it's kind of sucky that one of my favourite movies is now all over ruined.
It's not. A lot of people... No,
a lot of other people worked on those movies, I understand.
Thank you. Come on.
But yeah, he did double duties on that. He was the editor and the composer. So
nice.
John Ottman is a quite a good composer as well. I believe he's written... this might be wrong. I think he wrote the X-Men movie themes.
Oh, right.
Which
and we're not talking about the 90s badass fucking diddle.
No, I'm just going to double check. Nice. No, I'm telling a lie. Never mind.
I think I need to watch
Superman
Superman
like he has composed.
God, that's a nice film.
He definitely edited like the first few X-Men movies. Oh, he was the composer on X-Men 2, so there you go.
Nice.
So that's really interesting.
Oh, that's good.
Well, I mean, it is good, but also at the same time, I remember thinking when his name was read out, and I was like, oh, John Ottman, I really like his work.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, how many movies do you have to work with on Bryan Singer before you realise he's a piece of shit? Surely only one. He's, I don't want to make assumptions about anybody, but how many times do you have to...
Maybe he kept it to himself. This is the thing. We weren't really there. Like, you can't, I
don't know, man. If it came out that the guy that I knew that I was working with had settled many many cases and had all these things brought against him, and if he rang me up again and said, hey, you want to come do this? I think I might say, nah, I'll be all right, man.
What about the paycheck, Tys?
Well,
I know for a fact like he was a prick, because if you watch one of my favourite... it's not my favourite... In the making of Superman Returns, when you watch it, the scene where Parker Posey slaps Kevin Spacey, she didn't want to do that. And instead of a director coming up, like this is the tetrament to his directing. Instead of a director coming up going, I know you're feeling uncomfortable, and talking her through it and going, I understand. Okay? Yeah. But if you could just, like, Kevin's okay, we're just going to do 2 takes, just hit him twice, okay? He'll be fine. Just as long as you're getting it in here, and you'll be fine. Instead of that, he literally is on a megaphone in the back section going, just hit him. And that's on film. You see, just hit him. We're wasting time. Hit him. I'm like, wow. Nice directing, pal.
All right. Yeah. I don't want to watch any behind the scenes footage of him.
No, do it.
So that was the interesting. That was the beginning of the night. Who knew we were going to walk away and say that the biggest winner of the night would be Bohemian Rhapsody? Do you know who knew? This guy. I made some sweet coin off that. Just put it out there.
By the way, Tyson wins. I like it.
Yeah, everyone loses because Bohemian Rhapsody won 4 Oscars. But I win because I had money on it winning the most Oscars for the night.
Thank you.
Because I was, as I said, I was pretty certain that it would win both Sound Awards, and I was obviously pretty certain that Rami Malek was going to win.
Yeah.
I had a sneaking suspicion that it would win editing.
Really?
Yeah, and then I did the math in my head and said Roma only has to lose 2 of its, like, because it was only really a shoe-in for 4.
Yep.
And I was like, if it loses one of those, this is a good bet. I made some sweet coin.
We should play some cards, Tys.
No, I'm no good at cards. There's the one thing I'm good at. I can predict what might win Oscars.
I like it.
Yeah. So it's the one time a year I actually make money gambling.
Nice.
Let's move on.
Production design, Black Panther.
Black Panther again.
There you go.
Like we were mentioning.
Amazing.
Yeah, great. It was a combination of all the crazy aesthetic choices.
This is the one that was an absolute complete shoe-in. Cinematography.
Cinematography for Roma.
You could just see it in the trailer alone. Like, the man knows what he's doing. What I took away from this Oscars, and I love it, is that if you want a good film made, you're getting Alfonso Cuarón. If you get him, it's an amazing film. It looks amazing. It's just lovely.
I really appreciate what he does. I was, it obviously wins a few more awards, so we can talk about it.
We can talk about it now.
We can talk. Yeah, let's talk about it now. Why not?
Oh, we can talk about it later.
Let's save it for when we get to a certain point. But yes,
Okay,
cinematography, very well deserved, I thought, for Quaron. Very lovely work.
So good. The next, obviously, is sound editing and sound mixing.
Cool. So, yeah, this is, was both Bohemian Rhapsody, which is more indicative of the fact that I don't think people understand what these sound fucking awards do.
They do. Would you like to tell the people at home? You told us
last
year.
Every time.
No, but tell the people, because if they're tuning in...
Yeah, they might not know. That's true. Well, sound mixing is the levels of the sound, so how you combine speech with background noise, or if you're in a war movie, how do you make sure that the gunshots are heard while the tanks are rolling past?
Yeah.
It's all the level mixture. Sound editing is the actual creation of the sound. So a lightsaber humming or,
a bone crunching.
Yeah, exactly. The Foley work, all that kind of stuff. So, that's why you see a lot of, not futuristic, but that's why you see a lot of action-heavy films be nominated for sound editing, because there is so much creation of sound in that kind of stuff.
And also, it's when whoever wins that Oscar, it's a lot of people up there.
Yes, of course.
It's a team of people that do this.
It is. And the sound mixing for Bohemian Rhapsody, sure, it was well mixed. I guess the concert scenes were pretty impressive, although I think I would have preferred to see Star Is Born win that category.
Okay, all right.
Because I think its mixing was far more effective.
Sure.
And the way it actually used sound as part of the storytelling process, his loss of hearing.
Yeah.
I think they should have done more with it. I was actually really disappointed that they didn't follow through with that, but they at least had moments where they used that as a storytelling choice. Bohemian Rhapsody was just, here's the Queen songs, and fuck, don't they sound good.
Which, you can
I could give or take. Man, I can get a good quality version of Queen's albums and pump it through an expensive stereo. I can do that. That's fine.
That's fine.
So yeah, I was a bit disappointed that the editing award I think is trash. I think that's
really,
but I suspected it. I was fairly certain that's the way it would go. But yeah, because it's not really about creation of sound. That movie, it's not. It's people have been saying stuff like A Quiet Place, which used sound
as a main element,
as the
film.
main storytelling tool, and that kind of creativity is what that award should be for.
Absolutely.
First Man, how you realize sound in a non-sound space.
There is no sound in space.
Exactly.
No one can hear you scream.
So,
Alien.
Thank you. I wasn't aware of that one. Sounds like a good one. What did this Alien movie come from?
It's not bad. I prefer the sequel.
Secretly, I do too, but that's just me. But yeah, so I was a bit pissed about that one. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, fair deal.
I was pissed, but then I also was like, "Ooh, this is boding well for my little bit of cashola."
Stop talking about your cash winnings, man.
Hey, man, it was a good day.
It's gold. It's gold. He made some coin.
Yeah.
Next one, which was foreign language.
Cool.
Yeah, which was Roma. So
this was probably
again. We'll probably talk about it now.
Let's save it for when we get to director. But I think this was obviously probably the most predictable one of the night.
Yeah.
Although a lot of people did say that it's a good moment to tell. Like Roma kind of, I think if you didn't suspect it after production design, I think it winning foreign film was actually a pretty good indication that it wasn't going to win picture.
Best picture. Well, that's where I was like, oh, I really, you know what? Now that this has happened, I really hope it wins both, because fuck them.
I was kind of thinking it would be better if it did win both. If something like Cold War had have won, I almost would have put my house on Roma winning Best Picture.
Right.
But because it won foreign film, it was like, oh, now it's got one of the biggest stats against it.
Yeah.
Is that no film has won both foreign and Best Picture in 70-something years.
But it could be the first.
Yes, it could be the first, but it is an uphill climb from there.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be a bitch.
You know what I mean? Whereas if one of the other ones won, you could say safely that, people voted Roma their favourite Best Picture and then got to foreign and went, oh, well, Roma's going to win Best Picture. Do you know what I also loved? Cold War.
Yeah.
Shoplifters. When it won foreign, it suddenly became a lot harder for Roma to win Best Picture, I think.
Yeah. But yeah.
But there you go.
And then the next one, which was, and I love the spacing of this. It's very well thought out instead of bang, 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 which is what they used to do. Best supporting role by an actor.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
cool.
Which was Mahershala Ali. In Green Book.
Yeah, which I think was another one of the probably more predictable awards for the night.
It was a shoe-in.
Yeah. I think maybe there was
Who else
late
was
upswing for Richard E. Grant, perhaps kind of getting it in the end there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a pretty safe bet. And
Yeah.
he gives a performance, I think, well and truly worthy of it. I think he was pretty outstanding.
He's solid. We were talking about this the other day. It was pretty. He's solid in everything that he does. You know that you're going to get really good quality, and you can tell that about him because he's so fucking serious all the time.
He is.
He's a very serious man, isn't he?
Yes.
He's almost on the type of like Daniel Day-Lewis is the same. Daniel
yeah,
Day-Lewis is always like, hello.
I get what you mean.
He's a quiet soul almost.
Yeah. He obviously takes his craft incredibly seriously,
Exactly.
and that's great.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
And which we brought it back to first season Luke Cage, which once his character, spoilers for you, Luke Cage season 1, he died, the show went to shit.
Yeah.
And you were like, wow, I'm
the best character in the show gone halfway
Literally
through the
just
show.
gone.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh well, okay, that was the only reason I was watching this thing anymore. But thanks,
Exactly.
thanks writers.
You know, so yeah. I can't wait for Mahershala Ali, what he does next. What is he doing next? Is he Bond? Let him be Bond.
Oh, he's actually not a terrible... Is he?
Really?
No, he's American though, isn't he?
he's American. What is he doing? Let's look it up.
Well, I mean, he's an Alita Battle Angel, so
he is.
I would
Is
like
he?
I would like to see that. That's getting better and better reviews the more I hear. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
I know, right? Who would have thought?
No.
I'm actually excited to see it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring
it on.
But so he seems to be the kind of guy that could just, like, he's won 2 in 3 years.
Oh, he's just on True Detective, the new season.
He's doing the new season of True Detective. He could win like seven Oscars in his lifetime.
Yeah.
He seems to be the kind of guy that they would probably just keep nominating him. He might not win a bunch more because it's like he's had 2. Yeah. He'll definitely be nominated. He's the kind of actor that could do anything he does will draw attention to him as a potential Oscar nominee, I think.
Yeah.
Except for Alita Battle Angel, obviously.
Oh, I don't know about that. You don't know that just yet. Look, it missed the awards. I think it missed the awards.
I reckon we're pretty safe in saying Alita's not going to get any Oscar nominations.
Okay, fair enough. Look, you're not going to put money on it?
No.
Okay, no money for that one. All right then. Well, can we, since you mentioned him, Richard E. Grant, because I watched, I forgot the name of the film now.
Spice World.
Definitely not. I have seen Spice World. We will do that later on.
We should. That'd be really funny.
No, I'm sure it's fucking awful.
It's pretty awful, but it would be funny.
No. What was the movie?
With Nell and I.
No. Are you serious?
That's a great movie.
No, it is a good movie. No. Jesus Christ, Nicholas. And in 3, 2, 1, Can You Ever Forgive Me?
Oh, yes, right. The actual movie. The actual movie,
yeah. Did you see this, Tys?
No, I did not.
No, you didn't. That's okay. So I was kind of looking forward to it because I'm a massive fan of Melissa McCarthy.
Yes, of course.
And Richard E. Grant always brings the goods. He's always entertaining,
incredibly solid. Yeah.
It was all right.
Yeah.
It was.
I feel like that's the general kind of vibe about most of these movies this year.
That's the thing.
It was all right.
But that's the thing. Like when I watched it and then going back on everything, there was only one standout, which we'll talk about later.
Sure.
But 2018 as a whole, Tys, if you go back and listen to our podcast episode on that year, we were like, yeah.
It's funny, yeah, because we were pretty lukewarm on the year on the whole, but we had that kind of caveat that we were like, oh, but we're about to do all the Oscar movies.
Exactly.
And even now, post that, we're still like, it's not a great year.
You know what, I'm just going to keep watching Infinity War. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to pop on Black Panther. And you know what? I'm going to bring it up now because I was going to bring it up later, but the reason I don't like is any horror movies at the Oscars. I know it's a kind of a grey area. But I don't know why Hereditary wasn't in something.
It well and truly deserved to be. I mean, I was about to say,
like, it was my favourite movie
kind of hang
last
out on the
year.
year, but I think genre cinema had a really great year, and mainstream kind of popular cinema, didn't
have anything.
And even like indie kind of. That indie drama vibe was pretty not a great year either.
No, but you had a couple of them.
Low budget and independent genre really was killing it this year. Some really great stuff. Even like
8th grade,
even
man.
big studio genre stuff. Like I think Marvel had a really strong year. I think
of course.
Yeah,
Infinity War, man. But it was good. Like it's not going to be something that you're going to run out and watch. Would I recommend it?
Yeah.
You can watch other stuff.
Sure.
Can you ever forgive me? Yeah.
That'll go on the box cover. You can watch something else.
You can watch something. Oh, yeah, fair enough. Next one, Tys. Oh no, wait, I got these mixed up, so I need to write this down. Oh, no. Animated feature, Tyson.
Yeah, cool. So,
Pixar did not get it this year.
Because everyone was going nuts for Into the Spider-Verse, and it's apparently great.
It is. I've heard people say it is hands down the best Spider-Man film there has been, including Homecoming.
Yeah, so...
And I'm like, the massive statement right there. Come on.
I haven't seen it. I'm now just waiting for it to turn up on streaming services so that I can get right on, because I'm dying to see it. I really am.
I can't wait. And now...
The clips look fantastic. Like, the animation style looks fucking cool.
Yeah. And I've always been a massive fan, more so of Miles Morales as Spidey than Peter Parker.
And so, like, that's a huge accomplishment for... I mean, it's a Sony production, Pictures? But it is also in conjunction with Marvel, the same way they did the latest Spider-Man Homecoming. So it's not obviously in the Marvel universe, but the cinematic universe, but they still had it. I find it kind of, like, interesting that, yes, Black Panther won 3 Oscars, but there hasn't been more kind of hubbub about the fact that a Marvel character's animated film won Best Animated Feature. Like, because usually you're right, it is a Pixar, or it is like that weird nomination that's always there in every year, the one from another country that no one's ever fucking heard of, like that made like $14 box office. Like
Kobu.
No, but that was huge.
It was massive.
Kubo,
thank you.
Kubo was actually quite a big hit. I'm talking about like what was it? What was that Irish one? The Seas of Kell or something.
Good
you know, there's
Lord,
always some kind of...
Watership Down?
No.
Is it that? No?
There's a new Watership Down on
Netflix.
There
is. I saw that.
I watched some.
Oh,
it's
Tys?
interesting. The animation looks really cheap. It's really strange, yeah.
Well, the animation for the old one was...
Well, at least it was hand-drawn, so I'd take that any day. This looks like one of those kind of cheap video game animation. Yeah, it's not great. What else was I going to say? Spider-Verse, yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I tried to catch it in its last run, and the day that I could make it was the day that it stopped.
No.
I'm like, are you kidding me? I am that guy who rings the cinema. I ring the cinema and go, hi, how you going? Yeah, can you show that one last time? And like, like, no.
Sorry,
who the fuck are you?
Yeah, and by the way,
weird
stop calling
old
him.
fucker.
Yeah. That's not how it works, buddy.
It's not how it works, man. We're gonna make room. We're gonna make room for Oscars. So the next one after that was so this was the short section. So you had doco short, animated short, and
live action short.
Live action short. Thank you.
Look, unfortunately, I don't ever get the opportunity to watch these. I have tried in the past.
I have, true, yeah.
This year I did not, so I have very little to say other than congratulations to the winners.
Bow, Skin, and I will give a heads up for the ladies that had the period end of sentence.
Yeah.
They're for the live short.
Yeah.
Well done.
No, actually,
a massive well done.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Those,
it was,
girls right
and the
there.
production was completely female as well.
Yeah.
It's a topic that I can't imagine another film has been made about.
I know, right?
And for it to win is really great. I think.
Her speech was spot on.
It was fantastic.
Spot on. Yeah.
What a funny speech.
Can I say though, as we go down, because I want to just talk about speeches right now for a second.
Yeah.
They get a prompt. You know you're up for an Oscar.
Yep.
There is a chance that you may win. If you win, you got a good 2 minutes.
That's about it.
Get your shit out. Get it together. Get it quickly. Get it
together.
Gone. The fact that I forget what it was, but it was a couple who came up and they won, and it was they were obviously a married couple. She obviously also there's a lot of emotion. So the people who are talking at me right now through their podcast speakers saying, Nick, calm down, okay? Give him a break. Jesus Christ, that's all good. But she came up and she wasted 30 seconds in silence. She went, "Wow, hold."
Oh yes.
Wow, hold.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, don't do this. And oh God, I'm telling you, it's one of my favorite things to watch when you're watching the Oscars, and then all of a sudden, cue music. And she turns, you could see it because her music got cut. She turned to her poor husband, which is fine.
Yeah.
And said, "I am so sorry. You didn't get a chance to speak. It's fine. They got an Oscar.
That's it.
It's the end of the day. But, come on, people.
That was a train
people.
wreck of a speech. There was probably just that one.
No. There was two or three like that I was like, oh,
there was
come
one
on,
that,
guys.
I remember one that was especially awkward, and I feel like this is the one you're talking about, where it was just meandering, awkward silence, then one more name off a list, and then a little bit more awkward silence, and then some weird interjection of like, yeah, and this person, and
Don't
was like,
do that.
oh no,
Come
they're going
on.
to play you. They're going to start this music even really like super
Exactly.
early for
Get
you.
your shit together and get it gone. Come
That's
on,
it.
people. Come
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. And this is why I brought that up, because the three guys that did visual effects knew what they were doing, came up with their speech. All three of them got to speak.
Yeah.
See you later.
That's it. And you want to give everyone the opportunity if you can.
Exactly. Yeah. So visual effects, First Man.
Sure. And look, I really do want to see First Man. I'm sad that I haven't seen it yet.
I've heard it's a slog, Tys.
I'm up for it though, man.
I know it's your director. You love him.
I really
you love him,
like
and
Giselle.
I do too. I will definitely watch it. But this is one where I was kind of really. This was obviously I've spoken about it before. How they obviously went for realism rather than
100%.
Purple Enemy.
Look, and I was sad that Infinity War didn't win, because I think what it realized on such a huge scale has never been done before, I don't think, and to do it so effectively and to make it
so believable,
and so coherent, like. None of it felt like just random CGI shit flying at you.
No.
Like, I never got that feeling watching Infinity War, which I get in a lot of movies, even other Marvel movies. It never felt that way in this. It was so well visualized.
Yeah.
Which I'm slightly disappointed, but I'm glad that.
Oh, absolutely.
I actually do like the fact that a visual effects award went to, like, a classy kind of retelling of a space story. Like, that's cool too.
Something that's fiction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we obviously can't shoot a movie in space, so, they're kind of making it up as they go along sort of thing. Whereas the mocap that they're using for Thanos and things like that, even though, come on, man, Thanos starts crying, and I believe every single second of it. Like, it is good, man.
And look, there are moments in that where, yes, it's like, oh, yes, that's a CGI hulking mass. But there's some other stuff that you look at it and you do legitimately lose yourself in it every now and then and feel like he's actually there.
Like the fact that Nebula, who is getting torn apart, that is all made up. There's none of her even there.
Oh, yeah, of course.
We're just getting tortured.
Yeah.
Anyway, we love Avengers.
We do. I sad it went home empty-handed.
It's true. All right, so we've got this is where kind of, for me, this is where the real action starts, a bit of the heat. So you've got original screenplay, Tys, which is kind of a big one for me. I always love whoever wins original screenplay. And this year, Green Book, which the writer now escapes me. Oh my God, I haven't written it down. Have I not written it down?
There's a couple of writers.
Oh, that's right.
One of which is the son of the Viggo Mortensen character.
Yeah.
And then I believe Farrelly co-wrote it as well.
That's true, he did.
And was there one more?
There was one other guy, yep.
Yeah, cool. Well, I mean, I am okay with that. Like,
yeah.
I think as we'll get to it at the end of our discussion, we'll have a proper discussion about Green Book. But, yeah, I think I would say the screenplay is not one of its strongest elements as a film.
Sure.
I think there is other stuff in it that is a lot better. But I can't completely begrudge it for winning this award, I think, because it is partly responsible for a movie that I do quite enjoy. So it's there's high potential for a different film in that category to have a much better screenplay. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is one of those awards that people voted with their hearts, I guess, more than their heads.
Yeah.
And that's the result we ended up with.
I like it. Yeah. Like, all the others kind of didn't, and this is going to go back to what we were saying before. It was a very kind of year. It was a mediocre year.
I feel like screenplay is a really great award to reward kind of not just dialogue, not just the plot of the movie, but to find an opportunity to really kind of. I consider it one of the more important awards because it really is
something original.
Yeah,
like coming up with something original
being able to
today.
find something that's just a little bit more unique, a little bit different, something that you've taken like a normal story, like, okay, and this is what we talk about a lot. What is the movie about and what's it actually about? And that's what I really like about the Screenplay Award, because it's not what the film's about, it's about what it's actually about. Right. And when that's effective and when you can see that in every moment of the screenplay, I think that's a great opportunity to reward that kind of creativity. Whereas this is maybe not that kind of movie.
In that, would you say that Vice is kind of that, even though
not really.
He is kind of he's trying.
He is trying to. But I
have a say on what's happening now, but it wasn't
aside
as
from really
effective.
that last speech. And this is kind of spoilery for Vice, but when you figure out what Jesse Plemons' character, he is, I would say they were probably the only 2 moments in it where it had clarity. And I was like, here we go, great.
And then it's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously the next one is adapted screenplay, Black Klansman.
Spike.
And we'll get Spike doing his thing.
Spike Lee.
Good
on him, man. It's so cool that Spike Lee's won an Oscar. Like, that's great. He well and truly deserves it.
Long time coming, man.
Long time coming.
Yeah. I'm a big Spike Lee fan.
Look, he's just he's an excellent character to have around. Like, his movies aren't always great. Like,
no, of course not. He's got some rough ones
absolute
in there.
dogs in that filmography. But his good stuff is really up there.
Yeah. And not only speaking about a writer who, yes, it's about this, but it's actually about this.
Yeah.
Spike Lee is
and that's
all over that.
Pretty much 100% what he does is that every film he writes, he has an agenda. Yeah, and I mean that in the most positive way possible.
Absolutely.
Like, I feel like agenda is a word that's been kind of
made negative.
But yeah, and his agenda is a good one. Yeah, it's social awareness. He's bringing social awareness to his
bringing something to light almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know about this?
Exactly. So yeah, and look, his speech was great. He looked awesome.
He always looks
and
so
you know what,
good.
Spike, man, you get up there and drop that F-bomb. You do it because you deserve it, my man.
Yeah, man.
I loved it. And I loved how excited Samuel was that he got to present it.
Yep. And that little Knicks game section, I was like, you know what, fuck these guys.
By the way, just like,
she's like, can we get on with
script?
Come on, I'm sorry about that. Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
And I do like that they I'm glad that. Like Captain Marvel has been and gone. Like they've filmed, shot. They're good friends now. They would have done a lot of shooting together,
of course.
So you had that kind of sense of hi, how you going?
Yeah.
You're going to see a film very, very soon that is going to be badass. By the way.
Speaking of, I just wanted to go back a little bit as well.
Yeah.
There was a really lovely moment where Chris Evans got to present one of the Black Panther awards.
Yep.
And you saw the moment that he looked over and saw it was Black Panther, and he had a little moment.
Fuck yeah.
And it just made me think, man, I reckon working for Marvel is like the best gig. I think these people absolutely love it.
But it's also a tight-knit family.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I mean.
Though...
I think they're all really proud of that brand. I think I don't think they're just there because it's like, man, they pay you a fucking fortune to do a dance around
in fucking houses.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think that's it. I think they love what they do with that company.
And that's just Paul Bettany, and he does mostly voiceovers.
Yeah, exactly. Paul Bettany's probably the one dude that is in there for the coin. He doesn't give a rat's.
He's like, really? I have to be... I'm the Vision? Shit, awesome.
Oh, man,
Bring
I used to
it
just
on.
be able to do this from a fucking studio
That's
booth. You mean I've got to
rad.
actually be in a movie now?
That's awesome. What? You're killing me? What? You killed me? Oh.
Yeah, see, it's probably the most fun he's had in his whole life, Paul Bettany.
No way. He's a great director, man. I love Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany?
Yeah, man.
He's a director?
Dude.
What's he directed?
Oh, fucking come on. Tys, what are you doing? I don't know off the top of my head.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he was a director.
Yeah, man. Now I have to have a look. God damn. Oh, come on, Nick. He's directed one thing.
Oh, there you go.
Shelter. Moving on so that Nick doesn't... Tyson's going to edit this out.
Am I now?
Don't look at
Am I now?
Okay, so as we mentioned before, best original score, Black Panther.
Yeah, cool.
Tyson, you need to listen to that thing again, baby.
I will have to. I'm not saying I don't remember it being pretty great. In the moment, I'm just saying that I have not thought about it since.
Right.
And I usually take quite a lot of
You're a man of scores,
priority
Tys.
in the score award. And funnily enough, I actually found the score in Vice to be really quite impressive.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I bet you this is because it was like it reminded me a lot of like 90s conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Kind of conspiracy thriller movies, not conspiracy theory,
That's
not
so
the Mel
true. I
Gibson,
knew where
Richard
you're
Donner
going from.
directed movie,
Which is so good.
Yeah, conspiracy thriller movies. It was like this really kind of brassy, discordant stuff.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. I was like, oh, this is very cool. This is good score writing. And then it was nowhere near the nomination, so I was like, oh well, fair enough. What do I fucking know? Then I guess
You're allowed to have an opinion. That's hilarious. That is so funny.
yeah, I didn't really.
I don't remember. Well, I haven't seen any of the rest apart from Black Klansman. Like, I haven't seen. I tried to watch everything, but if Beale Street Could Talk, Isle of Dogs, and Mary Poppins Returns, I haven't seen any of those.
No.
So yeah.
But yeah, so look, it's obviously I do care about the score award. I think this was another one that I think people wanted to award Black Panther.
Yep.
And they were the only real categories you could. Yeah. It would have been ridiculous if it won Best Picture, and I think most people acknowledged that. People went, nah. But
It's
hey,
nice
we
for the
can
nomination,
give it a couple of other things though. Hey, that score is pretty cool. I like Kendrick Lamar. Like, he's cool. Yeah. Let's give it a score.
That's hilarious. Yeah. I do love the score. I really dig it. As a person that's listened to it quite a bit, it is a nice amalgamation of that kind of African-themed type instrumental score that comes into action.
Yeah.
You've got your action sequences
very
molded
similar to
together
like
with that.
having Hans Zimmer and like the way the Lion King stuff works.
Sure. Yeah. Exactly.
Like a lot of classical kind of African influence stuff mixed with this theatrical kind of movie movie score.
So molding those two together obviously was better than Mary Poppins. So yeah.
Must have been. I also really appreciated the fact that Ryan Coogler has worked with that guy since they were in college.
That was cute.
I actually thought that was really cool.
The roommates.
Yeah. It's the guy that would have scored his uni projects.
Yep.
And then Coogler got the big gig.
Yeah.
And he went, hey, I don't want anyone else writing my music for me. It's you. I actually, when I heard that, I was like, man, Coogler, you have scored even more points in my book because that is fucking cool.
That's awesome.
Because I'm pretty sure Marvel were like, hey, we've got these 5 guys that we've used before. They're
Hans
great.
Zimmer is free.
Yeah,
would you like to work with Hans Zimmer?
the random who's that random dude that they always fucking get who
does the
Thor
Marvel
and stuff.
Yeah. You've spoken about him before.
God, I can't remember his name now.
Why is he always getting the gig? Doesn't he do Fast and Furious as well?
Yes, I'm almost certain. No, that's not him. I've got to find his name. God, which one did he do?
But I did like that. And I did like that. I love that the guy who did the score was his name was
Brian Tyler. This is that guy works more than anybody else in the fucking world. I'm sure they went, hey, Brian Tyler's available.
We're good. We want Ludwig Göransson. I love that his name was Ludwig.
Very cool.
And now for a little bit of controversy.
Oh yes, controversy.
We've got some
controversy.
We've got our best original song, musical song.
Oh,
so
really? Controversy.
Yeah.
Why?
Because there was heat. Did you not feel the heat?
Oh yes,
in
that kind of controversy.
Fucking performance.
Look, that was.
Oh my god. Yeah. I was like, they are clearly, there is something going on. No, I was kidding. I'm kidding, obviously.
I mean, yes, of course. A lot of people have made the comment that it's like, man, they are banging.
His wife is in the front row.
Yeah,
Come on.
but I think they made a kind of agreement. They must have said to each other, let's perform it as our characters. Let's not do it as ourselves. And I think that was really... we haven't spoken much about the musical numbers, to be honest.
No. Well, this is where we're going to bring them up.
Yeah.
So the first one that you got, did you want to do it now?
Let's do it all now.
So the first one, which was... Oh, I've lost my place. Let me start that again. Oh, here we go. So I'll Fight, Jennifer Hudson.
Sure.
From
RBG.
RBG.
RGB.
Yeah.
Beta Ginsburg. RBG.
Yeah. Which was great. I really dug her.
It seemed like a nice song.
Yeah.
I don't think her performance was too crash hot. No,
I love Jennifer Hudson.
Me too.
Man.
Me too. But I was a little disappointed with her performance.
Okay.
And I didn't love the song, to be honest.
No, I wasn't a fan of the song. I just didn't like the performance. And then I love that we just get some random Bette Midler.
She was great.
With the place where lost things go from Mary Poppins Returns. And I was like, yeah, man, Bette has still got it. She's still in there. She can rock a stage and she knows what she's doing.
Boring as batshit song.
Oh, absolutely.
Like really kind of not good at all.
Wow, this is shit.
But she...
I love that you thought that as well.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, it's like somebody...
I was like, okay, cool. So I'm going to make a tea.
Computer with all the information of Mary Poppins created its best impersonation of a Mary Poppins song. Like it had nothing, like no heart in it at all, aside from Bette Midler's performance. Like from a songwriting perspective, I just found it so empty.
They did nothing.
But she just stands, does her thing, and I was just like, Bette, man, you're killing it. Killing it.
Yeah.
She was so good.
So good.
Yeah.
And then the next one, which I really dug this. So from Buster Scruggs, when a cowboy trades his spurs for wings.
Yeah.
This was a nice
it was Gillian Welch, and who was the other one?
I don't remember who the other one was. But Jesus, Tyson. If this was my shoo-in, if Gaga wasn't there. Like
the funny thing about these kind of these movie songs is that when you get, I'm not saying that Bette Midler and Jennifer Hudson aren't like world class singers. They are.
Yeah.
When you get world class musicians getting up, doing their own tune.
Yep.
It's really something else.
You're getting a performance. Yeah.
It's like, that sounds like I'm kind of hanging shit on the other ones.
No,
but
not at all.
Gillian
but
Welch is like,
it's a different another level. It's
She
another
is
level.
like an institution in like bluegrass Americana kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And David Rawlings as well.
So good, man.
Oh man, they were
harmonizing to the fuck.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I really, really liked it.
Yeah. Download that goddamn song.
Yeah.
Download that song and watch Buster Scruggs on
Netflix.
Netflix, come on.
It's just comfort of your own home.
Just a random Coen Brothers film that you're going to watch.
That's it.
As if you're
Coen Brothers for nothing.
Exactly. And then you've got the winner, Lady Gaga.
We should mention that the Black Panther song was
Black Panther song,
Kendrick Lamar backed out a couple of days prior.
Yep.
And I think they made the right call and just said, well, we're not going to try and get anyone to replace Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Let's just...
we just won't have the song.
We just won't do it. Yeah. And I think that's probably the safest bet there.
Is that what happened? I didn't know that he backed out.
Yeah, I don't know why he backed out,
okay.
but it happened only about a week before. And
maybe he had the flu.
I did notice that while they were showing the clips of the songs, they actually showed a longer clip of that song.
Nice.
So I could have been making that up, but that's what it felt like to me. It felt like it was a longer clip.
Wrong.
In order to just give it a little bit of extra, here's what it is.
Right.
So that was a good call.
Nice.
So that Shallow performance was fucking great, though. Weren't they great together?
What?
Shallow.
Oh.
It was actually really nicely directed too.
How good was that?
I was like, oh, this is a really great call to come up onto the stage and film them with the audience as the backdrop.
Like when Bradley came back around, sat, and I was like, and the camera moved, and I was like, we are watching some. Like, this is amazing.
It was.
This is hands down probably, I'm going to say, probably one of the best performances live on stage that the Academy Awards has had.
Look, you're probably not wrong. I reckon I could find a few that would give it a run for its money.
Close.
But it was for absolutely just having me mesmerized, and really, aside from it must be the most intimidating performance stage to perform on ever. So aside from the fact that Bradley Cooper is not a natural singer, he sounded fucking great though. Lady Gaga was clearly really emotional and was getting really involved in it, and so from a technical standpoint, she was a bit all over the shop. But sang with so much heart and so much emotion. She was just stunning to watch. It was great. I really loved it.
Feel it in the room.
Yeah, you could, man. You could.
It in the room.
And it's not. It's one of those simply written but fucking just gorgeous songs.
So good.
That change from what you call the verse and the chorus on paper is not very impressive, but in execution is really high level chord progression. It's stunning.
Seriously.
Great. It's
so good.
It's great.
So good.
Really nice.
Well, how
many more we got, Nick? Fuck, we've been rattling on this for a bit. Yeah,
we've literally got 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Just quickly, by the way, because this is the only chance that I'm going to get to talk about A Star Is Born.
Oh, sure, of course it is.
I did see it.
Yes.
I unfortunately, don't get me wrong, I loved the first half. I thought the first half was quite good.
Sure.
I really liked where it was going. Bradley's direction, obviously, it's his first directing gig.
Yep.
Obviously, he's still got a few more things to learn, which you could take from it. But hey, from a first act, it was not bad.
It's pretty confident for a guy who's never directed before.
Exactly.
And look, not all of it lands.
Yeah,
but the confidence is so evident, and you give him props for that.
Exactly. There were a couple of shots there where I was like, "Brad, you need to move the camera, man. Come on, let's get it moving."
It's kind of the opposite. Sometimes I was like, "Can you just chill out for a second, man?"
that last shot where she was. Anyway, I'm going to go into that later. We've got a lot to go through.
Sure.
What I wasn't a fan of was the fact that she turned into Lady Gaga.
Sure.
I wasn't it turned from that it came from this writing her own songs and all that stuff. Maybe she wanted to do that. Everyone's like, well, you don't know maybe she wanted to be the pop star. Maybe that's where she was going. I'm like, yeah, that's great. But unfortunately, she turned into Lady Gaga. If you're going to show me Lady Gaga as an actress in a movie where she sings, that's great. Believe me, she can hold a tune amazingly. I just didn't want her character to become even remotely close to who she actually is in person. So
that's fair.
So I felt like I was a slightly gypped.
I think it's the way it displayed contemporary pop music. I found really tone deaf, for want of a better word. It was it was a really contrived superficial representation of what pop music is at the moment. It went for the real easy hits, which for a movie that seemed like it was really concerned about truth in artistry and all this kind of stuff, for it to go for such easy, low-hanging fruit when it comes to the state of current pop music, I found really kind of like, you've fucked this, guys. I'm sorry. Like, it's really disappointing because I was...
It is, because I was so into it, you know. I really was, especially the first meeting. Like, them going together and he just literally just drops into a fucking bar and has a whale of a time, and it ends up being a night to remember and things like that. It was unfortunately disappointing. Yeah. It really was.
It is a film of missed opportunities for me, because I think some of there is stuff in it that is so rich with potential that didn't entirely pan out, and that's where my frustrations lie with it. In that I think I probably would like it more if you didn't set these things up and not pay them off, because I wouldn't be expecting it. But yeah, like certain things we've talked about, the opportunity to really explore about the nature of truth and artistry, something that is one of the things at the heart of this film that doesn't really get explored past a certain point. Yeah. The whole idea of the way they were representing his deafness and what that represents, like, because it's so much more than the fact that he's just going deaf. Yeah, exactly. It's about everything. It's losing his creativity, losing his relevance, like all that kind of stuff, and
not
that
being
was
able to hear the music anymore. Like
in his own imagination, not just physically not hearing it.
Exactly.
And that was never fully explored, because it was like you can't set up you shouldn't set up a visual representation for that and then not have it be relevant later. Just stuff like that where I was like, come on, like I just wanted to do this stuff because it's so close to being really great.
And then he pissed himself at the Emmys, and I was like, yeah, look, it's a pass. It's a pass.
It was a pretty
it's a pass. And then in the end of it, spoilers for Star is Born, I'm not going to say it, but fuck, are you kidding me?
I mean, it's a pretty brutal ending.
It is. But I didn't believe that was the tip-off for him either. Like, he was doing well, and then all of a sudden someone says something, and that's the tip-off. I needed to see more.
Sure. I understand.
Yeah.
Look, don't get me wrong. I'm really looking forward to seeing it again. It's actually probably the movie out of all of them that I want to rewatch the most, because I want to know if those things that frustrated me are going to be worse or better next time. Because I feel like where it goes on my next viewing will probably end up actually giving me what will be my defining of this film. Sorry to rant around that. But otherwise pretty solid. Just didn't go all the way.
Watch the first half. Yeah.
First half is pretty spectacular, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. Flashing through, we have spoken about it, but actor in a leading role, Rami Malek.
Sure.
It was shoo-in.
It ended up becoming a shoo-in in the end, didn't it? Like, everyone there was conversation for a bit that it might not have been, but then...
I was like, yeah, as if it's not going to be. Like, if you're going to watch Bohemian Rhapsody for anything, it's... He did a spectacular job. He really did.
It is a good performance. Like, I don't think it's...
Spectacular?
I think there are better performances in that category.
In that category? Really? Such as?
I think Bradley Cooper's
You think
better.
What?
Yeah. I think Christian Bale's better. Definitely.
Christian Bale was very good.
I think, but Rami Malek, it's pretty out there. Like what he does, he makes some real choices, and they don't all work. But generally, you are with him for most of that movie.
Yeah,
and
you're not really seeing Rami Malek anymore. You're kind of seeing.
No, he does disappear into it, and that's great.
Yep.
It's just one of those things where you're watching it, wishing for it to be in a better movie, because I think the material around it would have elevated his performance as well.
Yeah. You think Bradley Cooper should have been up?
I love Bradley Cooper in Star
Really?
Wars. Yeah,
you don't think he's doing a poor man's Shepherd? Are you kidding me?
It's not Sam Elliott.
Yeah, Sam Elliott. Yeah, sorry, not Sam Shepherd.
No, look, he obviously is doing that thing, but I just loved that there was a performance that was that rich that didn't have fake teeth or made up bald head. It was just Bradley Cooper. You know what I mean? Like he just and he did that. He made that character just with himself.
Yeah.
And it was just nice that and I'm not saying don't make actors look like the people they're portraying.
Don't have fake teeth. No. If you have fake teeth,
I'm just saying it was just nice that there was a performance that I think was that layered and that rich and got that much to the core of that character, because I think his character, it's his movie, obviously he directed, so it makes sense that it's the best realized character in the movie. It makes sense to me that it's just nice that it was without all the bells and whistles of some of these other performances.
Okay, fair enough. And then the one that I had my money on and I loved and I literally jumped for joy was Best Actress in a Leading Role.
Oh, cool.
Which was Olivia Colman.
Sure.
Oh my God, I'm so absolutely 100% thankful that she won this thing.
Great.
And her speech was hands down the best of the night.
It was the best of the night. It was a beautiful speech. It was so
genuine and absolutely gobsmacked. And
I liked it. It was a great mix of like charming
Bruce charm and
and being super overwhelmed by it, but not letting it turn you into a bubbling mess like sometimes it does, where you can't even get a sentence out.
And she's not the type of person that's going to ramble off. I want to think this, which is what Peter Farrelly who was it? Green Book.
I can't remember.
The one with the long list. Who came out about this fucking long. And he just started rambling shit off. No, it was Green Book.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, dude, what are you doing? Yeah. But yeah, I love that she won.
Yeah,
I was so ecstatic that she won. You know.
Better, do you feel like it's a better performance than the Glenn Close performance in The Wife?
I have seen both.
Yeah.
I have seen The Favourite and I have seen The Wife. Yes,
cool.
I do agree.
Sure.
If anyone, and this is my chance to really big up The Favourite. If anyone is going to watch anything from the Oscars, please watch The Favourite.
Cool.
It is. You will not regret it. You really won't. It's such a great film. It was hands down my favourite of this.
Cool.
Shows. But yeah, it was so good and such great performances. Just, it's not a comedy, but it's going to make you laugh so hard. Like
even some of the clips that I saw, because I unfortunately haven't seen it yet, but some of the clips that I saw made me want to see it so much more because I was starting to actually gather the tone a little bit better. I was like, because I was never quite sure of the tone from the trailers, but seeing some of those clips, especially the one about the building of the model, and it's like, but the war's still going, and just her reaction. Oh, right. Is it? Oh, that's no good. And I was like, okay, I think I know where this movie's going now. I'm starting to get the vibe for it. Yeah, I'm going to watch this thing.
It's so great. It really is. Yeah. Definitely give it a watch, man.
Cool. No, I can't wait. And she even she won me over 100% with her speech.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
It was great.
Absolutely wonderful.
And she's only know her from little bit parts, like really little bit parts, not like Regina King or anything like that, where she's actually quite a big character. I know her from little bit parts, like she's in Hot Fuzz. And as one of the coppers.
Sure.
And, things like that. And she's in, what is it? I'm not going to remember it now, so it doesn't matter.
That was how she made her bread and butter for so long.
Show. Exactly.
Yeah. Just being that person in the back of something with one line here or there. Yeah. Which is awesome.
So good.
So good.
Directing, Roma. Alfonso
Cuarón. Look, well, this is the last big award that Roma won for the night. Ended up with 3.
3? I thought it was 4. It wasn't. It was 3, was it? Wow.
Might have been 4, sorry.
We just went through them. No, that was 3. I was saying that 3? You were, yeah. Because it was
foreign director
language.
and cinematography. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it was 3.
Look, and I think it was a bit of a shock that it didn't end up winning Best Picture. For a lot of, I think it was probably collectively the most thought of winner. Like, it was the most predicted winner.
Yep. I agree there.
And this direction award was like the favourite of the night. I think that was never going to be going anywhere else.
No.
There wasn't a chance in hell.
No.
And I think it's pretty well deserved, I think, for the way Roma was realised. The more I read about Roma, the more that I respect what it did.
Sure.
As a film watching experience, I didn't love it.
No, neither did I. I was happy that it didn't win Best Picture. I was really happy. Because as a Best Picture, I was like, but I really didn't enjoy it. That doesn't mean that I can't appreciate what the hell it did.
Yes,
and it looked stunning.
It did not work overall for me. There were scenes in it that I found some of the best stuff of the year, for sure. There is the hospital sequence.
Oh, the running shots that he did in the field.
Yeah.
My God.
Which was outstanding. Well, they're all kind of one big sequence, really. The riot that leads into the hospital and stuff like that. The final, the kind of ending scene at the beach.
The beach, yeah.
some of the dialogue I found really great. Some of it felt like, and this is I know this makes me sound like might make me sound like I'm being a bit of a dick, but some of it was all just a bit too pretentious art house for me. Because I don't mind that stuff. I don't mind it at all.
Sure.
But sometimes it just rubs me the wrong way if I don't see the goal of it.
Right.
And it's
if you can't appreciate it, like,
well, yeah, in some ways, because some of it felt just way too much. Like it felt like it was. You could have done what you did without being pretentious, and I think that's where I get kind of iffy about it.
Yeah.
I don't mind art house wankiness if that's the only way you can do it because it's necessary that way.
Sure.
Some of this felt like wanky art house for the sake of wanky art house. Yeah. Not the beach scene at the end at all.
No.
That was a choice that I'm so respected. Not the hospital scene. Stuff like
you're talking about the stuff in the house. Most of the stuff in the house.
I'll give you one example. One clear example.
Sure.
Is the parking the car sequence, which took about 17 minutes. I feel like, and you know what? I got it. I got it after about 12 seconds.
Yeah.
That the car was going to be kind of representative of their two differing views, that she would trash the car at some point. I knew it as soon as I saw how long they were taking for him to park this fucking car.
Oh, they're doing this for a reason.
But then it went about a minute and a half further, and I was like, okay, well, that's unnecessary. That's just a point that doesn't need to be overly expressed that much.
You've pushed the button. The light is on.
The stuff with the strong man. Like I was just kind of like, oh well, this feels like kind of like a Wes Anderson movie now. Like, what do you do? What's going on here?
Yeah.
But yeah, look, each to their own. I think there's some fucking great stuff in it, but I think overall it it wasn't super effective.
It was alright.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we are on to the last one, Best Picture.
Yeah, Best Picture.
Green Room.
Which is a bit of a surprise. Green Book.
It is a bit, yeah.
Green Room.
Green Room. What did I say? Did I say Green Room?
Best Supporting.
Did I say Green Room?
You did? That seriously would have made my day a couple of years ago if it was like Patrick Stewart, Best Supporting Actor for Green Room, Anton Yelchin, Best Actor, Best Picture, Best Director. That would have been fucking something
There
else.
is a person at work that, I don't know whether she listens, I think she does, who listens to this podcast, and she said, can you tell me a really decent horror movie?
Sure.
And I told her to watch Hereditary. She came back the next day and went, fuck me. Oh my God. What the hell? I had nightmares. It was great. She loved it. What have you got? And I said, are you kidding me? She said, please tell me another one. You've got to tell me another one. I went through for about 10 minutes. She's seen everything. I said, have you seen Green Room? It's not a horror, but it's going to mess you up.
It's not. I mean, it's a horror movie. It is a horror movie. 100%.
It's going to mess you up.
It's the most horrific shit
That's the thing.
imaginable.
It's taking horror and taking the literal word for it. So it's horrific,
Yeah.
So that's why I said that.
Sure.
But no, we're talking about Green Room, not Green...
No, we're talking about Green Book, Nicholas. Green Book. Come on.
Sorry. It's late. I've been up forever.
Okay.
Green Book, Tyson. Yeah. Green Book.
Which, in a year full of okay films...
It was okay.
It was okay,
yeah.
and probably the most okay,
yeah.
in my opinion. Like,
yeah.
on purely entertainment value levels, there is nothing in it as ambitious or effective as some of the stuff in Roma.
Yeah.
There is nothing as kind of ambitious or arrogant.
It's not in your
confident as what's the direction is in Vice,
or in your face as Vice or Black Klansman. It's not as in your face as what it's trying to say. Like, do you know what I mean?
But as just
I wasn't bored.
Just a really
great.
entertaining movie that I think has. What I find interesting now is that, like, the way the backlash against this film, right?
Yeah,
I get where it comes from, and I do get it, but I feel like, are we kind of, what's the saying? Are we biting off our own nose to spite our face now?
Cutting off our nose to spite our face.
Biting off, that's far more intense, isn't it? I just went real fucking dark.
It's because you want to watch Green Room.
Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah, are we cutting off our nose to spite our face a little bit here? Because I think people went into this film with good intentions. I don't think people were going into this film to pretend like they knew more about how to fix racism than somebody else.
Yeah. Just be nicer to one another.
I honestly feel like they just went into it.
Race.
Yeah, they went into that movie just wanting to make a movie about how people from very differing backgrounds can find common ground.
Yeah.
And isn't that what we're all kind of want from everything? I mean, I just...
It doesn't have to be a hard and fast, well, a man from a white man and a black man who is from very different parts of the world are going to face these things and overcome and help. You know, it's not going to be 12 Years a Slave. You know,
no, and
it's not going to be that. Which, don't get me wrong, I bought 12 Years a Slave the next day after I saw it. But this is a different film.
No,
you know?
And we want the perspectives. We want different perspectives. Of course we do. We're not saying that you can't. Of course we want that.
Yes.
We absolutely do want that.
Yeah.
This isn't a movie that someone went in saying, hang on, I don't want you to make this because we know better.
Yeah.
It just feels like, and I don't know. I could be completely wrong and I could be completely naive about it and short-sighted, but it feels like people just went in with good intentions to make a movie about mending the things that are between us as human beings, and did it in a light enough way that was entertaining, had moments that you laughed at, had moments that you cried at, and at the end, maybe if two people who don't like each other after seeing that movie kind of went, you know what, I was giving fucking Jim a real shit time the other day because I don't agree with this, I want him on this, maybe I should be a little bit nicer, because I don't more open-minded to his differing opinions, his different lifestyle. Something like that. Isn't that a good thing? I don't understand. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Though
I do know what you mean.
I think this film could exist with just any two different people.
Yeah.
I think it's using obviously race relations because it was a hotbed topic and at a time when it was at its most fiery.
Yeah. And adding fuel to the fire, he was gay as well.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I actually think the way it handled that was really quite mature as well.
Yeah.
And not in any way exploitive, which it could have been. And we were presented with a protagonist who changed. Now, and you know, a lot of people have said that the way he's presented in that film is kind of reprehensible, and it's like, yes, but the movie is not saying that that's what is okay, and the movie is challenging you by saying that while seeing that this man is capable of these awful things, is this man also capable of change? Yeah, so I hope we don't ever get to a point where everyone can't just make a movie about reconciliation, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
If you want to make a movie about that because you feel like it's a topic that we should probably have more of,
or if you have something to say on the topic,
it's probably worthwhile.
Yeah.
You know, Spike Lee is the kind of guy that you know makes movies that fully address the problem and are artistic explorations of what they suffered through, and he gets to the core of it, and that's great.
And he's been doing it for a lot of years.
Yeah, and that doesn't stop. This doesn't. I know because Green Book won and Black Klansman didn't. There seems to be a weight towards Green Book, and I think that's where the frustration lies. Is that if you pick one over the other, are you saying that one is a better representation than the other? But I don't necessarily feel that's the case. But that may be naive of me. But I just can't. I just don't. I can't see it. So that was a fucking...
No, that was a good discussion.
That was a long-winded way of saying, I kind of liked Green Book. I don't even love Green Book. This is the thing. I'm not sticking up for it like I've got this passionate love for this movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine to good, I thought. I definitely enjoyed watching it.
Yeah. I didn't get bored.
No, I didn't get bored,
and I was entertained.
I had a good time watching it.
Yeah.
I felt an attachment to the characters, and at the end I had a warm fuzzies.
Do you remember when we've said it before, how they don't make movies in the 90s, how they don't make movies like they used to in the 90s?
Sure.
About something that just happens, like Fried Green Tomatoes or
The
Man Without a Face. Like these films that are just so in that period or in that time that are just two characters and whatever happens.
And the experiences of those two characters.
Exactly. Yeah. That was this movie.
Yeah, you're right.
And it was great.
You're right.
That was the Oscars, Tyson.
That was the Oscars.
The Oscars.
Julia Roberts at the end. Well, apparently that's the end. So thanks for coming.
That's because the end speeches of those gentlemen for Green Book were just so blasé and
I think they were in shock, to be honest. I think they were like, shit, we fucking won it?
Oh,
really?
Wow. Okay.
Oh, it was not. I did not think that was going to happen.
Shit. Hey, there's Khal Drogo.
Yeah. Oh man.
Golden.
All right, well, hey, Nick.
Hey, Tys.
Should we... I don't think we need to do What Did We Watch this week because we just talked about all the movies we watched this week.
We did, yeah.
So why don't we move on to our next segment, which is Caressing the Streams.
All right. Well, for this themed episode of Nick Tice, we're going to do films that will have won Best Picture. That if you haven't seen them, maybe you should give them a watch. I've got mine.
You've already got yours.
Yeah,
well, you go for it because I'm having still a little bit of a search for it.
Yeah, have a squizzer. Mine is, I love that word, squizzer.
Have a squizzer.
Mine is 1988 Rain Man.
Rain Man.
100%. This is a movie that not only I love, but it actually got me into acting because I've said it before, Dustin Hoffman, after watching, I think it was Hook, and then I watched Rain Man, and my mother told me that Captain Hook and Raymond are the same actor. I was like, get out of town. No way. And yeah, like, I love this movie. I still love this movie. It starts off, you don't really know where it's going to go, and then it becomes such a beautiful, heartwarming piece of two brothers. So you've got Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman, and it's essentially fighting over a will, but then it obviously because their father dies, and Tom Cruise doesn't know that he has a brother,
right? And
then ends up meeting his brother. And then from there, they just build on their relationship. I'm not going to tell the whole thing of what's going on. From there, it's just heartwarming and lovely, and it makes me cry in the end, and I absolutely love it. And I forgot that this winning Best Picture. Do you know 1998 the nominations? I need to find this out because
1998. Oh. No, 1988, you mean?
Oh, sorry, 1988.
No,
yeah.
I don't know 88's
but that's
winners. Right. I feel like, was that no.
But you've got director Barry Livingston, who's
actually, I've got it here for you, man.
Yeah.
So it beat The Accidental Tourist.
Yep.
Dangerous Liaisons.
Okay.
Mississippi Burning, and Working Girl.
Okay. So, fair deal.
There's good movies in there.
There's some good movies in there.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, Barry Livingston, who obviously a lot of people know his works of, like he did Good Morning Vietnam and Toys. And
Toys.
How good is Toys? Do you remember Sphere? How good was Sphere?
Oh, Sphere?
1998. Sphere. I was looking at that. And then 2001, The Bandits. Oh, God.
Yeah, he's hit and miss.
It's hit and miss. But this one's gold. So definitely give this a watch, especially if you're looking for something that's a little different. If you like, this movie doesn't get made anymore. This is why I brought this up before, is because there was a time where movies like Green Book, I guess, these were very common, and this was the best of those. Like, this was the best of that type of movie. You are essentially getting the same or almost premise as Green Book, obviously without the racial themes and things like that. But two guys on a road trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old-fashioned road trip movie.
Yeah.
Great, man. And where can you watch that one?
You can watch this on Stanley.
Yeah, I'm also picking something that's on Stan.
Yeah.
And look, there's no surprises here. This is probably the most predictable pick that's going to come from this.
Do it.
But I'm going for the winner of the 49th Academy Awards, which is from 1976, and I am referring to Stan, which is showing Rocky.
Rocky
is a movie that's a bit kind of people get a bit shirty that it won because it beat a couple of movies that are considered in the grand scheme of things better than Rocky, which is like All the President's Men, Network, and Taxi Driver.
Wow.
That's and a movie called Bound for Glory, which I haven't seen.
Any three of those other films, though?
Like, you're talking some pretty fucking big films here.
Right.
And I think Rocky gets a bit of a hard knock because of that, if pun intended. Now, Rocky.
Yep.
There's an argument that Rocky is the deserving winner, and I think what ends up happening is people go into Rocky being like, "How the fuck did this beat Taxi Driver?" And then they sit down. I mean, who hasn't seen Rocky, really? You still haven't seen Rocky?
I haven't seen Rocky.
Yeah. So most people sit down who haven't seen Rocky and are like, "This beat Taxi Driver? You're kidding me?"
Yeah.
Or "This beat Network? You've got to be kidding me, right?"
And at the end.
And well, I'm the only reason why I think people people can get to the end of it and go, "Nah, it wasn't as good," but that's because they're sitting down with their arms folded,
right?
And I think it's really hard to acknowledge what it would have been like then, because I think Rocky is really a very, very sweet, tender story that is exceptionally well acted,
right?
Very well directed, excellently written. I mean, it cannot be denied. And yes, it might not have quite as many. It might not have the depth of something like Taxi Driver or the
cast of All President's Men.
Cast of All the President's Men, sure. But really, as an exploration of, the will to be better,
right,
and the drive to get yourself out of something, and it's the perfect metaphor. It's the perfect sport as metaphor for survival movie. Like it is,
right.
It's just all about how do you get yourself out of this rut, and what do you have to do. I think it's really one of the all-time great sports movies, a great exploration of those ideas, and spurned one of my favorite film characters of all time in Rocky Balboa. So, who really, while yes dipped a little bit in the middle, these last couple of films that have explored more of Rocky have just made it really one of the great cinema characters of all time.
Yeah.
So,
have you seen Creed 2?
I haven't seen Creed 2 yet.
Everyone's loving on it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Everyone is loving on it.
I'll be watching that very soon. I believe it's available to rent at the end of the month.
Okay,
so
nice.
I will be there with bells on because, Rocky Balboa, Creed, these movies have been real, just spectacular movies. So
it's on my list, man. It is on my list.
Good.
I love it. I haven't seen Rocky. You haven't seen Rain Man.
Yeah, there we go.
How good is that?
We'll do a trade-off.
All right, done.
Not in the next week.
Okay,
but
take it easy. I'm busy.
Nick.
I gotta wash my hair.
Next week,
Tyson?
my man, we're gonna wrap it up.
We gotta wrap it up.
So
next week we're going from pretentious, amazing Oscars to.
We're just going as far in the opposite direction as possible.
We're gonna go hard left. It's gonna be a hard left.
Real fucking hard left.
It's gonna be a fucking hard left.
So we got Dolph Lundgren, my man.
Dude.
Dolph Lundgren in the Mattel toy live action adaptation of Masters of the Universe.
Yes!
Oh, dear me.
Yes!
And the reason why is because this has recently popped up on Stan. I just saw it that it came to Stan the other day, and I was like, well, what better way to watch this than a HD version on, like, full HD on Stan.
Full HD on Stan.
We're getting some Courtney Cox, we're getting some Frank Langella, we're getting a lot of Dolph Lundgren.
We're getting He-Man and Skeletor. There is no Battle Cat.
So, no, there is not.
There is no Orko.
No, but there's Gwildor.
Okay, but there is Gwildor. And Jesus.
So that's kind of close. But that's going to be a real, real fun time. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get a lot of people tuning in for that one.
I like
Nick,
it.
why don't you tell people where they can find our show?
Tys, Tys. How you going, Tys?
Oh, yeah, good, man.
Yeah, good. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for letting us rant and rave at you about our favourite time of year, which is the Oscars. If you would like to share, rate, review, or star any of our episodes, please look them up on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, or any place you do find podcasts. Other than that, we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram. We are also on YouTube if you want to have a look at us there. And you can write us a response if you would like to write us that email. At Nick Tyson.
We're getting real tired, man. They're getting loose towards the end of this episode.
Nick Tyson Videotape at gmail.com.
That
is it, Tys.
That is it?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Oscar's done for another year, my man.
Oscar's done.
I can't wait.
I can't wait till next year.
Irishman.
Oh,
no,
really?
It's not going to win.
No.
Once Upon a Time in America. Is that what it's called?
No, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah.
Really? You think it's?
I'm just spitting shit. Who knows?
Maybe it's QT's time.
Maybe
he hasn't won Best Picture.
It is time, isn't it? He's got to win it eventually. And he's
Best Picture.
Because he's only going to make a few more movies.
How? This is the thing. Why hasn't that man busted? This is the thing. Why hasn't this man and James Cameron, by the way, busted? If you have a gift, you use your gift. You don't just squander it and make one film every 2, 3, 4 fucking years. Who gives a shit about Avatar 2?
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen,
have a fun.
Have a good night. See you, Nick.
Bye.
Bye.